Okay, we should be live. Nice. Okay, we're gonna make this quick because I'm on a time limit, sadly. But it won't be much of a problem. All right, 3 people watching, that's nice. So once again, I'm gonna play Hitman, because why not? But during it, we're gonna talk about stupid Star Wars garbage.
You keep thinking you're out, and then it pulls you back in.
Sadly, it does. Okay, let's start. Just checking if the sound works. Okay, I think you're gonna do most of the talking because I haven't looked too deeply into it, just what you showed me, that little statement.
Yeah, so I'll start talking, shall I?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So if anyone's watching, you may be aware that there have been 2 rival Legends Star Wars Expanded Universe conventions that have tried to get off the ground in the last couple of years. So there was the original Legends Con, which took place in 2023, and then essentially after that successful convention, there was a split, and the split was that one of the organizers of the convention essentially took the organization and fired all of the other members of the team and installed a bunch of his friends, and that was the company that is still known as Legends Con, to the best of my knowledge, and they attempted to get their convention off the ground. It was scheduled for February 2025. They had a whole bunch of guests lined up, including Troy Denning, including Michael Stackpole, Chris Avellone, Kevin J. Anderson. You know, a really good lineup. But then, just about 6 weeks before the convention was due to take place, they announced that they had to cancel it. And qualifying this, that I'm not close to anyone involved. I heard that the reason why it was cancelled was that they didn't sell nearly enough tickets. So whilst this was going on, another convention has been in the process of being organised, known as Legends Expo, now known as Legacy Expo, and that is essentially a new non-profit company that features 99% of the original Legends Con team who are let go by the organizer of Legends Con. They essentially said, right, that's fine, we'll go and do our own thing. And that convention is due to take place in Burbank in September 13th, I think, of this year. They've just announced Matt Stover as one of the guests, along with James Lucino. So they've got the two goats, in my opinion, of the expanded universe, as the sort of the flagship guests, alongside other authors such as Stephen Barnes and Barbara Hambly and Sean Stewart again. And that's all well and good. What Legends Con appear to be doing now is suing Legends Expo. So not content with bringing I guess the expanded universe community into sufficient disrepute by causing drama off the back of the first convention by firing all the volunteers and bringing in his own mates. The team, or the organizer of Legends Con, has decided to sue the organization Legacy Expo that is still going forward with the second convention. So that's nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll read out what is on their website. So if you go to www.legendsconofficial.com, you'll be greeted with the following message. I'll read it out. We understand there's been speculation regarding the reasons behind the cancellation, and we want to provide some clarity. While multiple factors played a role, including logistical and financial considerations, a significant concern involved confusion in the marketplace stemming from a similarly named event promoted by another organization that formed after the launch of LegendsCon. So obviously that's referring to Legacy Expo. In light of this, Legends Consortium LLC has retained legal counsel and is pursuing a federal lawsuit against a separate company promoting an event known as Legends Expo and Legacy Expo. This company was established after the launch of our brand and has, in our view, engaged in conduct that has caused actual marketplace confusion, affected our brand identity, and interfered with our ability to continue building on the goodwill we've worked hard to establish. The claims we're pursuing include unfair competition, false designation of origin, and interference with contractual and prospective economic relations. We want to be clear. We're not making these claims lightly. The decision to proceed with the litigation came only after multiple good faith efforts to resolve the matter privately were unsuccessful. We do not believe that this situation reflects the spirit of collaboration and respect that this community deserves, and we're committed to defending not only our name and work, but also the integrity of the event we created with the support of so many of you. Out of respect for the legal process, we will not be sharing further details at this time. However, we felt it important to acknowledge the situation and to reassure our community that Legends Consortium LLC remains deeply committed to the fan experience, to transparency, and to continuing our mission with care and accountability. So that's what they're doing. I guess, I mean, what I heard is that the owner of LegendsCon, who is called Kyle, was personally out of pocket of tens of thousands of dollars. That's what Matt Wilkins said on one of his streams, and we all know Matt's very reliable on these things. And I guess he's trying to recoup his money by trying to run Legends Expo or Legacy Expo out of business, which is, you know, lovely.
That's nice.
So in plain English, what the lawsuit appears to be is that Kyle and LegendsCon are claiming that the other company copied a very similar name, which caused confusion among the public. So essentially the idea that people are mixing up these two events and that this confusion hurts LegendsCon's reputation, their brand identity, and their ability to grow. And they're accusing Legends Expo, aka Legacy Expo, of unfair competition and misleading people into thinking the other event was connected to LegendsCon, and generally messing with LegendsCon's business relationships and their future opportunities. So in short, they're suing for using a similar name that caused confusion and harmed their business. That's the lawsuit. And obviously, I'm not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer. We have no legal experience between us. But it seems like a frivolous lawsuit to me. I mean, what I understand is that the only thing that's liable in lawsuits like that is the assets of the company itself. So the people involved in the non-profit can't be held personally liable. So it's not like Kyle can collect money off of the individual members. So all they can do is try and ransack the assets of the business. And surely, because it's a non-profit business that's running a convention, the totality of their assets isn't going to be very high, and it's not going to be certainly the tens of thousands of dollars that Kyle is presumably looking to recoup. That's my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
We do also have a Swedish legal student in Discord and his opinions of it, because he said it's far from his area of expertise because it's American law, but in Europe the lawsuit would be almost impossible unless they could actually prove that Expo was claiming to be LegendsCon. And the fact that they're both conventions and the fact that they both use the word Legends wouldn't get them anywhere, since it's not an exclusive term to LegendsCon. It's like if Burger King tried to sue another burger restaurant for making burgers and having the word burger in the title. So, you know, it seems like a long shot if they're going to go anywhere. But it's all very sad because, you know, it's just more fan drama. Oh, we've got a question now.
Yep.
So Shabby Green asks, how many of the guests initially announced for LC2 do you think would return if an actual LegendsCon 2 got off the ground? That's a very good question, and it really depends on how much goodwill has been broken by the sort of the embarrassment of having to cancel the convention just sort of 6 weeks before the convention was meant to happen. I mean, that's got to be, you know, if you're Mike Stackpole or you're Kevin J. Anderson, you know, you're big sci-fi authors who already do the convention circuit, and you know their time is precious. And it was very cool of them to actually agree to go to LegendsCon. So the fact that they had to cancel is probably eating into their, you know, precious time, and they might think that it's a bit of a chicken shit outfit, not want to commit to it again. That's my thought. I think that they've lost a lot of goodwill, and I think that the act of this lawsuit is gonna lose them even more goodwill amongst the few people who still support their project, in my opinion. Oh, you're in a pirate costume.
Oh, you didn't even notice? Yeah, this is the costume you can find. A classic pirate outfit.
So I was playing this last night, and I had to knock out every single person in that room because I couldn't work out how to do it without knocking everyone out.
I like that I still have Silent Assassin, but I detonated a fucking explosive in there. I'm waiting for these fuckers to stop searching because I need one of the outfits. I just realized that for what I'm planning to do. But yeah, you explained that well with all of the LegendsCon bullshit going on right now.
Yes.
The only sad thing about LegendsCon being cancelled was they got the Jedi Prince offers, which is such a meme. It would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been. I mean, it would have been very interesting to see, wouldn't it? Because, like, would they be introduced ironically or unironically?
Oh, definitely unironically.
Yeah, I think
now
they would have been
treated
with a lot of love.
Now we're never going to get only good games asking them, like, how would you continue the story between, you know, Crucible and Legacy?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, their names Paul Davids and Hollis Davids have very interesting views of how they would bridge the gap between Crucible and Legacy and Star Wars Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some really good people. To give them credit, they, you know, like I would love to see Chris Avallone at a convention. I think he's probably got some really interesting things to say about, you know, his time working on Star Wars, given what KOTOR 2 was like, given it was, you know, deconstructive of the Star Wars ethos, I guess. You know, but it's it's a lot of people are out of a lot of money because they would have booked flights for Legends Con 2, and I don't think that Kyle going out of his way to try and sue Legacy Expo into oblivion is going to end up with any of those flights being reimbursed.
Yeah. With regards to why Legends Con was cancelled, you touched on it with not enough ticket sales.
Yes, so I heard that it wasn't even close. So they booked out a big venue. It was like an entire college basketball court arena type thing. So that would have been quite expensive. I assume that there was a down payment required and the guaranteed number of ticket sales. Otherwise, the convention was cancelled. But that seems to be why it was cancelled. They just didn't sell enough tickets. I mean, their argument is that they would have sold more tickets. If their argument is that they would have sold more tickets if Legends Expo hadn't existed, seems quite frivolous. I mean, I saw their socials, and their socials had about sort of 30 or 40 followers. The YouTube videos they were making were having 80 or 90 views at most, or whatever. I think they were generally relying on word of mouth to sell tickets.
Yeah, that's they were shit at marketing, because I can only assume they are of the generation they think Facebook is still a thing, and like the only thing you can use to get people.
Yeah. Oh, Shabby Green asks, did they get pressured into giving out refunds? No, they, as I understand it, the venue itself refunded all the tickets back to the people who bought them. I mean, it was funny because do you remember the ticket sales said no refunds?
Yeah.
So we initially thought that everyone who bought tickets might have be out the cost of the tickets as well, but I think the venue did refund them all their tickets.
But isn't Matt Wilkins doing his own convention now because they couldn't refund like the people that already booked?
So that seems quite decent. So at least a decent thing that Matt's doing, which is essentially he understands that a lot of people were refunded for their plane tickets in the form of vouchers. So they've got flights they need to take, but nowhere to take them. So Matt is hosting an expanded universe meetup somewhere in Texas, where I think he's expecting sort of, something like 15 people to attend, where they'll do things such as Twin Suns book drive and board games, and presumably drinking and merriment, and good for them. But I think a lot of people won't be going to that who would have gone to the Legends Con 2.
Yeah.
So there was an interesting thing that Civet said about the lawsuit being about claiming that the similar name caused confusion and harmed their business. So Civet said essentially the hypothetical test assumes that the average consumer is somewhat observant. And what that means, you should be able to exempt yourself by being clear that you're not affiliated with the original Legends Con, which I think they did. I think they announced that they were the people who worked on the first Legends Con, but it was not the official continuation of the business. But he said, obviously, the test varies depending on who you're advertising your product to. So you don't use the rational person test for products aimed at kids, for example, because kids are less observant. But essentially, what Legends Con 2 could do is they could argue that their average target audience is not as bright as an average rational person. And he said that if they did try and argue that in court, essentially that people are dummies, that it would be amusing enough that they'd win Civet over. So that could be the Hail Mary they throw, is that the expanded universe audience isn't capable of distinguishing between two conventions with similar names or vaguely similar names.
I mean, that's a fair guess.
I don't know. I think Legends fans are very smart, Noah.
Not so sure.
It varies.
Okay, I just remembered I need a wrench for what I'm planning to do, so I have to find one first.
Oh, there are lots of wrenches on this map.
Do you remember where one was? Because I don't.
I think if you go into the pirate area, it's like close by.
Okay. But yeah, we just wanted to talk a bit about that LegendsCon bullshit because that's really funny, I guess. Oh, there it is. Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been drama in the sort of expanded universe movement community, and this certainly constitutes it, because you'd think that after LegendsCon 2 failed spectacularly that would have been it, and they would have given up and just recognized that they'd tried and failed, but trying
they want revenge.
Trying to go after the convention that appears to be well run, well organized, has got good guests, and is probably going to go ahead, seems well, in my opinion, it comes across as quite spiteful and petty.
Yep.
And I'd like to see anyone try and defend the fact that they're looking to litigate, because I don't see how trying to get the only expanded universe convention that's going ahead, that trying to sue it into oblivion is going to further the cause of convincing Lucasfilm to allow the resumption of the expanded universe.
It's just all very childish.
It is. It feels like children playing at grown up.
And how's the rest of the movement doing lately?
I don't know. I don't want to. I'm a people. I'm a people watcher now, but I don't really have anything to say about any of them. I think it would be really interesting to see what Marcel thought of this lawsuit, given he considered the convention to be this incredibly virtuous thing that's just trying to give back to the community. And there's nothing nefarious about it.
I mean, as we know, the first one was just a publishing tour, essentially, for Supernatural Encounters.
Yes, that's what he said. I can't remember who he said it to, but he said that it was generally to give Supernatural Encounters to celebrate it and to give it a market. That's what I remember. Obviously, he didn't say it to me because he blocked me and said things about me to you.
Yep. And then in recent news, we saw Lance splitting away. We saw Brennan saying he has given up.
Yeah, Brennan says he's tiring of Star Wars. That's amazing.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's just the aspect of collecting it. Like I'm an old man by expanded universe fan base standards, but I've never grown tired of it, and I'm still completely fresh, still reading and rereading and reading the books that I like. But I wonder if these people burn out because they're collecting and they're being completionist about things. Like Brennan does videos on super obscure Ewok comics that are translated from Spanish, and they're reviewing and reading just slop, just licensed slop, and that's got to be tiring.
Yep.
I think the trick to staying an expanded universe fan is to just read the good stuff and not reread the bad stuff, and not seek out what is what the sort of content that you wouldn't give the time of day to if it just didn't have a Star Wars stamp on it.
You should be carrying one of the key cards for the control.
Oh, someone's asking to join now.
Oh, I don't know this person. I'm not sure. Yeah. Just saying. Okay, wait, let me quickly focus on this. I've never done this strategy before. I don't know if it's working, but I think this should work. Did you even pay attention what I was doing while you were talking?
No.
Okay.
This is a friendly guy who wants to chat now.
I can place the photograph. Nice.
Are you going to let the American out from under there?
Oh shit, is she coming back? I just remember what I have to do. I have to go up here. Okay.
Is this the electrocution?
No, so the guy killed someone on accident, I think, but she's gonna get angry, and we just delivered a picture of the dead body, so she's gonna become angry. And she's gonna kill him for us, but I don't know if we have to start the meeting, for which we would have to do this. Because I think she has to go into her office and see the picture herself first, so I'm gonna go back down, maybe. It auto-saved, so I can try again if I screwed it up at some point. No.
See, what I did yesterday was I rescued the American from his electrocuted cage.
Ah, Mr. Smith.
And then Mr. Smith. And then she comes down and the electrocuted cage kills her.
Yep, that's a fun one.
Yeah. I figured it out all on my own.
Nice. That's how I did it the first time. It was like the easiest option I could find.
So you recognize this person, the avatar?
Yeah, we're not really discussing Star Wars. We're discussing weird fandoms and stupid
But
drama.
we could discuss Star Wars. We could discuss Star Wars.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
It's up to you.
I mean, the last Star Wars thing I read was the fucking terrible Zahn Thrawn book, which was awful.
What did you watch? Thrawn Treason?
Yes.
Yes.
It was so terrible.
I'm of the opinion that Zahn has written more bad Star Wars books than good Star Wars books.
Yes, absolutely.
I think the Thrawn trilogy is good. I think Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future are decent. I think Outbound Flight is mid. I think Scoundrels is terrible. I think. What else is there?
Did you mention Survivor's Quest?
Survivor's Quest is fine.
But then you got Allegiance, you got Choices of One, you got
Allegiance.
Scoundrel.
Choices are 1 out of 10. Scoundrels is just one of the worst EU books I think there is. Chevy Green says Shadows of the Empire is fun. Yes, it is fun. It's absolute trash, but it's really good trash.
Piece of shit, Crest. I told him not to fuck with my business. Then I can gut him myself.
Okay, I think she's gonna do the meeting now.
Like the signal. I'm ready to start the meeting.
Oh, he's gonna start the signal, which means he's gonna find the unconscious body. Oh fuck, I fucked up majorly.
Shabby Green says, crazy how Steve Perry introduced an alien species that's literally just Asian people who are good at martial arts.
This is for sure Maxwell changed his name here. Because he started Shadows of the Empire.
But he hasn't read Shadows of the Empire. Maxwell's just done reading Tales of the Bounty Hunters. So I think this is a different person.
Fuck. Should I try again? Because I just lost Silent Assassin. How did he get up here so fast?
Are you trying to do the one where they kill each other?
Yes. Wait, where's the last autosave?
And someone whose name I can't pronounce because it's in Cyrillic says Outbound Flight is one of my top 5 Star Wars books ever. It is popular. I think it's Noah's Discord channel has a minority opinion that Outbound Flight is slop. I don't think it's slop, but I think I think the first 150 pages don't even involve the Outbound Flight at all, and it just takes forever to get going.
I haven't knocked him out yet in the save point. Oh, that's good.
And Kinman Doriana's. Well, I guess he's all right in Outbound Flight. He's very boring in Hero of Kartau, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you remember reading that, Noah?
Not really. You have to ask Tyrannus because he read it more recently.
Yes, but he found it terrible.
Yeah, most Zahn stuff is.
Yeah, and obviously his new canon books are. I just feel like he phoned them in, basically.
Yep.
Although Thrawn Alliances is quite spectacular, isn't it, to read?
It is the worst thing he has written so far. Oh, I can just... I didn't even know you could go over here. That's nice. As long as she doesn't see me, this should work out fine. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, don't worry about it in the comments. No, it's fine. Yeah, this was just supposed to be a small, not a big discussion, just on this one topic.
It's a shame that Moff never made his post on Hobby Drama about the supernatural encounters people, because then he could have followed up with a post about the lawsuit, given that it's almost exactly the same people.
Yep. Would have been very, very fun.
So essentially, the Legends Con 2 committee are all taken from the supernatural encounters community.
Sure.
Hmm.
Piece of shit, Crest. I told him not to fuck with my business. You like the signal. I'm ready to start the
Okay, this should work now because I didn't knock out the guy up there. Oh fuck, she's coming. Oh fuck. And now I'm basically done. I just need to go down and watch. They're gonna go up here for the meeting. She's gonna kill him, and then she's gonna light a cigarette, and that's gonna make this explode. I think. I hope that's what's gonna happen.
They've lit the signal for the meeting. I assume you have a plan in mind. What is it?
Can't I go down? Oh no. Time for some more parkour. Drop, drop, and done. Okay, everything should work now.
So have you set things up?
I set everything up, so we just have to oh, there's the... I didn't even notice that. There's this the submarine you can escape with. I think I took
Oh,
the
yeah.
keys from there, so we can make a
the
quick
key-
exit.
The keys are on the woman.
Are they? What keys did I steal?
I don't know. Maybe there are other submarine keys. But when
Hopefully.
when she dies, she's holding a submarine key and something else. I can't remember. Key to something.
Yeah, okay. I hope this works. Now we have to wait anyway until they show up here. Okay, so what I'm reading, I finished reading a German sci-fi novel, a classic, so to speak. And now, because Josh was recommending it, I'm going to read some Harlan Ellison short stories. Not the entire book of short stories I have, just a couple of them for now. Because I also have to read Stephen King's The Dark Half, because Jeremy wants to discuss it. And he already started it as an audiobook.
How does Stephen King compare to Star Wars Expanded Universe in terms of overall quality? Because I've never read a Stephen King novel.
Oh, in terms of general quality, I would say he's more consistent for sure. The problem is in later years, he really dropped in quality.
He got very angry on Twitter about things. I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, that is a thing, and his writing really got worse. I mean, I don't remember which ones. I read like Cujo very shortly after one of his more modern books, and you wouldn't get these are written by the same author if you didn't know.
Very. Does he introduce his, Trump fans bad
In
stuff into his
everything
book?
since 2016. There hasn't been a single book since 2016 where Trump isn't at least mentioned once. Even in his fantasy novel Fairy Tale, Trump is name dropped once, and that book is set in 2013 specifically because he wanted to write a fun book, and I guess he actually realized, oh shit, if I say this in current day, it wouldn't be fun because I wouldn't stop myself from writing, about Trump and shit. And it would be fine if it was clever, or if he had something to say, or like, I don't know. It just feels like I hate the guy. I'm angry. I'm gonna insult him in my books, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it always feels like it breaks the fourth wall because he doesn't add anything on top of that. Okay, now it is. Watch.
But now you got to go and kill. Don't you have to go and kill?
No,
him
she's
now?
gonna light a cigarette, and now step close to the exploding tank thing. Yes. Oh, that was the submarine key. I can escape right here. I lost Silent Assassin because they saw her explode, I guess, but it's fine.
You only got 4 stars.
Oh my god, I unlocked one of the best things. This is a grenade you can throw, and it's gonna make people throw up. It's gonna make them vomit. That's gonna be really useful. Okay, you haven't played. This is the next level you will have to play, the Ark Society.
Yeah, I'll play that tomorrow.
I have time enough. You want me to play that right now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oh no! Fuck. Oh wait. Oh no! Yeah. Okay. It would have started story. Okay. Let's plan. How do we want to go?
The story in Hitman isn't much, is it?
I like it. I think it's solid. I like the way it's told, and I like the individual stories within each mission as well. But yeah, the general story is just one secret society against an even bigger secret society. But it's fun. I think it's well done. Okay, this is the costume you're supposed to wear. Sure. And now I want to use that fucking grenade thing. I just wonder where it is.
See, I don't have any of these things. I just have a level 3 lockpick, which I bring for everything.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It took me. How long have I played this game? Like over 300 hours for sure.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yep. This is the game for autistic
I played
people.
it about 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get better at it playing it over and over and over and over again. Yeah, my total is 30.6 hours for the whole thing.
I can check later how much. But, yeah.
Although I also have Hitman and Hitman 2 because I played them before it was the trilogy.
Oh, okay.
So I have another 20 hours in Hitman 2 and 13 hours in Hitman 1. So I've got about 60 hours overall.
Mm-hmm.
So
should I try to do this? Doing this Silent Assassin suit only is nearly impossible because this map is so overpopulated. Let's go in. Should I show you the visuals? Let's take a look.
Is this the map where you get an Easter egg if you kill everyone in the map?
Yes. Do you know what the Easter egg is?
No.
Okay.
But don't kill everyone on the map, because you'll be here a while.
God damn it, I can't get in here. There's a nice costume in there.
Oh, Jason's in chat now.
Finally! Finally!
Do you want to see if he wants to come on stream?
Sure. Because I have to leave at 19:30 for like 10 minutes. And Douglas doesn't want to be here alone, for that bit. So it would be nice if someone is going to join so they can talk while I'm gone. Yeah. Okay, it's also worth saying with the Kill Everyone challenge, only the people that have like a silhouette, as you can see, like these guys. And then you look at these guys and they are basically just, what would you call them? Ghosts, basically. They are not really NPCs. They don't really count.
But do they not react to you?
They do react. And you can kill them, I think, but they are like empty shells. Like only the guys with outlines count as like true NPCs.
Jason says he's happy to come on stream.
Sure. The link is in the Discord.
I'll paste it to him.
I'm thinking how to do this because this is one of the worst maps. Like, it looks cool and everything, but it's so painful to do. You're gonna be here for like 3 hours when you play this.
Well, these levels take me all evening.
Yep.
So I'll start at about 8 o'clock and I'll wrap up at about 10:30, and that's been my week. I haven't had one take more than a day.
Let me actually think of a story mission. Oh, there's one here where you can disguise yourself as Indiana Jones. It's even the mission story is even titled "It Belongs in a Museum." I see Jason's here. Hold on.
And I'll wrap up at about 10.
Titled "It Belongs in a Museum." Hello there.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Wonderful.
You might want to mute your YouTube though, because we can hear that in the background.
Oh, sorry. Let me get my headphones then. Just a moment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know I can talk about something fun, which means not Star Wars, which is this game.
I mean, you say that it's unusual for you to be better at a game than me, but you're also very good at Among Us.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, let's go. We have to steal the necklace.
That is Zoe Washington, chairwoman of the Art Society.
There he is. I think the character's name is something like Drake Nathaniels, because get it?
No, I don't get it. Is that Uncharted?
Yeah, Nathan Drake. I'm trying to remember how to steal it because there are these cables. Okay, I have to go up there and deactivate this. Then I have options to distract these people, these guards. Okay. There's also one mission that's like a Blood Money reference. Am I allowed to go upstairs? Yeah.
Okay, so what did we miss?
Yeah, perfect. You haven't missed much. We were talking about the Legends Con Legacy Expo lawsuit, and now Noah's playing Hitman. Are you,
Oh,
are
I
you,
see.
are you
I
across the lawsuit?
I saw you sent it on Discord, but I haven't
Yeah.
read it. Can you give me a overall about it?
Essentially, Legends Con is suing Legacy Expo for what is it? Essentially, for using a similar name that caused confusion and harmed their business. That's what they're suing them for. So the
Is that legal?
I will make it legal.
Okay, that was a good.
I mean it's legal to. I think it's legal to sue people for anything really. It's a question of not as whether it's frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't know. But it seems spiteful, really. You know, you've got one convention that tried and failed, the other convention that tried and succeeded, and the convention that failed isn't willing to let them have their nice thing.
Well, I mean, I mean, that's surprising, but not unexpected from someone like Kyle.
Yeah, that's my take as well. I had heard that they had something up their sleeve, so I guess this is it.
They had something up their sleeve, as if this is something like some grand plan.
Yeah, like one last Hail Mary.
Makes sense.
What a master plan.
What a master plan. ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
But hey, remember, these are the guys who want Legends to come back, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean...
That's sure gonna show Lucasfilm.
yeah. two conventions going at each other, and one of them failing and trying to litigate the other one into oblivion is definitely going to convince Lucasfilm to revive the expanded universe. What are you reading at the moment, Jason?
So right now, I started around 2 hours ago. What is the first NFL Adventures book? Is the
Paradise Snare. Adventures.
Yeah.
Adventures or Star's End.
Yes. I started reading Star's End. I read chapter 1 so far. So Tyrannus mentioned it on Discord that I would like it because of the technical jargon. And I can see what he's talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of jargon, especially in this first chapter.
Yeah, was it you saying that you like the sci-fi part of Star Wars better than the fantasy part? Was that someone else in Discord?
Yes. Yes, it was me. I said that, and I stand by it because I am a sci-fi person. I mean, my favorite authors are all, Asimov, and I also enjoy Robert K. Dick. So when I read Star Wars, I enjoy a lot more the technical aspects of it, like X-Wing and Reeves books. I enjoy the fantasy stuff, but I personally can't live without it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like my favorite things in Star Wars is like the X-Wing TIE Fighter, X-Wing Alliance series, and that's just pure sci-fi war fiction. There's no fantasy element in it at all.
Exactly. Yeah. That's actually a perfect example. That's actually a.
Oh no! Everybody saw that.
What happened?
I stole the necklace and everybody saw it because these assholes were standing. Okay, we have to reload.
I saw you did something on. I see you call everyone's attention, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" But yeah, that is actually a great example, Dougie. I also enjoy TIE Fighter and the X-Wing flight sims a lot, and I was playing Empire at War recently.
Oh yeah.
That is another great game. I love being able to play Commander and the Star Wars universe. Just build a fleet and conquer the galaxy.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a part of Star Wars that appeals more to me than the fantasy stuff. I like the Jedi, but less so in their mythical stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you played Star Wars Rebellion ever? The much older
strategy game.
Yeah, the one that's like
Okay.
Empire at War, but much older and has like diplomacy and other things.
I think I'm not sure if I have it on Steam or not, but I did hear about it, but I never played it.
I actually prefer it to Empire at War because I love Empire at War and particularly playing it with mods. But Star Wars Rebellion, because it has the diplomacy element of it. So you've got your character. You can conquer planets by sending out diplomacy missions to neutral planets and convincing them to join the rebellion or join the Empire, and you can do that as opposed to just conquering militarily, which is cool. And also, if you bombard planets, you can get public opinion to turn against you. So you got to be clever.
Oh, that's nice. That is actually something that always kind of bothered me about Galactic Conquest and Empire at War, where it doesn't matter if you are playing as the Rebellion or the Empire, or if you are playing with mods. It's always you go to the planet, you fight on the space, you fight on the ground, and then the planet is yours. And I say that because the game uses in some planets the native species system, but
sometimes they're on your side, and sometimes they're neutral, and sometimes they're against you.
Yeah, exactly. And that happens during the battle, but outside of it, nothing happens. So you can pretty much, conquer. Let me think. Kashyyyk, for example. Kashyyyk, who always signed with the rebels, but the moment you conquer it as the Empire, it's pretty much yours. I mean, there is no Wookiee rebellion or something, which would have been fun.
Yeah.
So
you've got to be sympathetic. It's a 2006 game. It's 20 years old. Really.
I can't believe that worked.
Oh yeah, that's fair. It's not something I hold against Empire at War. It is something that I found nice about what you spoke about Rebellion. Now I will play it when we can, and I will give my thoughts about it when I do.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great.
I also played a little of, I think the name was Galactic Battlegrounds or something.
Oh yeah.
That one was okay-ish. Yeah,
it's Age of Empire 2 with the Star Wars skin, essentially.
Yeah. I don't think I played enough to give my, oh, I like it or I hate it, but I mean it seemed fun, and I may give it another try when I'm able to.
Yeah, I found it quite immersive. Like it's got good sort of story-based missions, and it's got a lot of expanded universe references and lore. It's got for example, Mara Jade is your narrator for the Imperial campaign, and there's a mission where you capture General Dodonna, which happens
Oh.
in classic Star Wars, the Archie Goodwin newspaper strips. Well, it's implied that he dies, but you know he turns out to be alive and on board the Lasankia
Blake?
in X-Wing
Almost didn't
in
recognize
the
you.
novels.
Oh, true. I remember that. Okay, oh, that seems nice. I
Got the
didn't.
mission where
I
you
don't
capture
think
him.
that actually seems very nice. I don't see many people mention, especially the Mara Jade thing. I don't think I've ever seen anyone mention it.
No, she's just the narrator in the cutscenes, but it's
Mhm.
they knew what they were doing.
Okay, that's nice. Right now, I'm playing through Jedi Outcast, so
Oh, yeah.
and that has been certainly something. It has been fun, but so far I think the level design is a little worse than something like Dark Forces 1.
Wow.
I found with Jedi Outcast it was
What?
sometimes difficult to work out what to do.
You know, we lost 3 men because
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I think I got stuck once or twice already.
fell into a pit trap. And Zoe and me, we only escaped the arrows.
You've got to the point where you've got the lightsaber now. I take it.
Oh, Papa Wedge is here.
Who?
Papa Wedge.
Fine.
Oh, Papa Wedge.
Papa Wedge, you
Hello,
missed it.
Papa
So I
Wedge.
stole this necklace and disguised myself as Indiana Jones to get to this lady.
Papa Wedge says Jedi Outcast is hard as balls. It is hard as balls until you get a lightsaber. I think the early missions where it's just it's just essentially Dark Forces, but with a modern skin, quite difficult. But once you get Force powers, you can just heal yourself.
Exactly.
It's easier. But Jedi Academy is much easier.
Oh yeah, it's baby easy compared to Jedi Outcast. I think I also think it's due to the levels being more linear than in Jedi Outcast.
Yeah.
Now, I think right now I am at the level where Kyle meets Luke after Bastion. So I
Is
already
this
got
your
my-
first time playing it?
Yes, it's my first time
okay.
playing it.
I won't spoil it then.
I mean, the story has been a little insane so far. There is the sun is a literal Dino Jedi. I mean, a Dino Dark Jedi,
Yes.
and it's funny as shit. And Luke, I found the level in Yavin 4 to be very nice. I like going through the practicing. I think
So
my
I want to
favorite
use the
level,
vomit grenade.
I think my favorite level so far has been Bespin, and my least favorite probably Nar Shaddaa, because I think the snipers on the level were just
the Rodian snipers.
fuck them.
Yeah, those suck. Those because they're just one-shot kills, aren't they? You basically got to know where they are and get them before they get you. So you're quick saving and quick loading just to get through the mission.
Exactly.
Did it work?
Yeah, half of my time in the Nar Shaddaa level was just saving on each room, dying,
Fuck.
reloading, and killing a sniper, saving, and the cycle repeats.
And Zoe and me, we only escaped the arrows
But
when you used one of the
No, I remember when I played Academy before knowing of the EU. I was blown away at the Jedi Academy being the thing. Oh yes. So yeah, I remember my first contact with the EU was if we are being technical, my first contact with the EU was, I think, Cry of Shadows, which is such a mid comic.
The Darth Vader comic.
Yeah, the Darth Vader, the clone who serves with Darth Vader and gets traumatized when he kills a bunch of cripples and a child.
That's a very random thing to have as your first expanded universe
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, it was but we didn't have much EU published here. We had a few books released during the 90s, which were basically the Tron trilogy, the OT novelizations, and Crystal Star. As funny as it is, I I still think it's crazy how they just published, the 3 Tron novels and Star by Star.
Crystal Star.
It's I think the first time I heard about Crystal Star was when I met Noah and Josh, and maybe on a video by, I think his name was Austin McDonald, who did a video on Crystal Star, and it was basically two opposite takes. With Austin, I had a video which was basically defending The Last Jedi by shitting on Crystal Star. And on the other side, no, I mean, to be fair, I think it was a little, I think it was such a pathetic video on retrospect, because do you really, I mean, imagine taking a 90s Star Wars book and just absolutely shitting on it to defend The Last Jedi. Dude.
Okay, please hold on. I have to save. I don't want to fuck this up again.
And
Crystal Star isn't
the
even
overall,
bottom 20 EU novels.
Yes.
Like it's
Got
fine.
him.
and then
What? The bathroom is right here.
sorry, what were you saying, Doug?
I was saying the Crystal Star isn't even bottom 20 EU novels. I wouldn't even say it's bottom 30. I think it's because it's traditionally considered the worst EU novel,
Yeah,
but it's
for
not
no
that bad.
reason, in my opinion. I mean, the worst EU novel, I think it's a bit harsh on it. I mean, I read it, and my brother read it too, and we both found it to be all right. It had a few weird ass moments, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's every Benton novel in a nutshell.
Yeah,
But,
I mean it's interesting that Jedi Academy came out about the same time, but no one was saying that Jedi Academy was among the worst EU novels when it clearly is pretty terrible.
It aged worse than Crystal Star, that's for sure.
Apple Wedge says
and
Crystal
then-
Star should be read on literature classes.
Crystal Star is good. It's great. It's one of the better
Papa
Benton novels.
Papa Wedge's current boyfriend, Papa Wedge's mum's current boyfriend is a literature teacher. Should he recommend Crystal Star to him? Yes, of course you should recommend Crystal Star to him.
As another, so Papa Wedge, I am a teacher myself, so you have my
Part-time.
So as I was saying, then I met Noah, and Noah had a positive opinion of Crystal Star. And so when I first bought it, I bought a used copy in Portuguese, and I was like, oh God, I hope it doesn't suck. And I was surprised by how decent the book turned out to be. And that was the Crystal Star. Anyway, coming back, we didn't have much EU published here. On the 90s, we had the Tron trilogy and Crystal Star and the OT novels. Then, for some reason, we had the Phantom Menace novelization published here by a publisher that went extinct. So, yeah. And then on 2014, when Disney, or 2012, I don't remember, when Disney acquired Lucasfilm. Our
2012.
biggest, yes, thank you. Our biggest sci-fi publisher got the rights to Star Wars, and they started re-releasing some of the novels. They released the Tron trilogy first, of course, and then they published the first X-Wing novel by Stackpole, and then we got Paradise Snare, and then they went off the rails, and I think it was because it was recently published. But we also got Crucible by Denning.
Well,
It's
without
the-
Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi.
No, we only have Crucible, which is the Creed.
Okay, guys. I'm gone for like 10 minutes driving my father and my brother to some Bavarian festival where they can get drunk.
Have fun.
10
Or
minutes,
not.
hopefully. Yeah, talk more stupid Star Wars shit.
Okay, go get drunk, Noah. So
Absolutely
we
not.
got we got the Tron trilogy, X-Wing, Paradise Snare, Crucible. Yes, and it was Crucible without any other Legacy or New Jedi Order era book, which is just the wildest choice ever. But I think they knew that, because the cover art is, an aged up OT trio. So we have, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher all looking like they're the Force Awakens selves. I think the idea was trying to capitalize on the release of the Force Awakens. That's my personal theory, at least.
Yeah.
And then we got Scoundrels. And then let me see, Kenobi and Plague Ace. I mean, their output was decent. Plague Ace, Kenobi, the Tron trilogy, X-Wing, Paradise Snare. We got some weird books like Crucible and the Scoundrels, but and Death Troopers for some reason, maybe because of the cover. And then, you have Purple Edge. What do you think of them? I think some of them are good.
The Thrawn trilogy ones are amazing.
Yes, they are. I actually have all of them here in physical, but I think they are a little roughed up because we read it so much. Most of them are, yes, they are. So let me continue. Let me see if I'm missing any. Tron trilogy, X-Wing, Crucible, Paradise Snare. Oh yeah, Shadows of the Empire as well. Shadows of the Empire was also another book that was released in the 90s and the 2000s.
Well, that was a big publishing effort, so it doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
that got a Portuguese translation or Brazilian.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And then I think it might have been due to them not getting enough back or something, or then losing the rights. But they published these Legends novels and some canon ones. I think they published Tarkin, Tron, Battlefront, Twilight Company. What was the name? Well, what was that Luke novel that was supposed to be?
Heir to the Jedi.
Yes, Heir to the Jedi, and that Rebels novel, New Dawn or something. And then they lost the rights to publish Star Wars here.
Yeah.
And then Disney gave the publishing rights to another company, which we call Universo Geek, which is just Geek Universe, the English. And they published the Bane trilogy. Those novels by Ryder Windham, the Obi-Wan, Luke, Vader ones.
Yeah, the the biopics, I guess you call them.
Yes, we got them, except the Darth Maul one for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I suppose he doesn't. I suppose he doesn't sell as much as Luke, Vader, and Obi-Wan.
But is it comprehensive now, or is it still only sort of a smattering of published novels?
Oh, it's still a mess. No, you don't even know the best part. That I Aleph had some mistakes, but I think they were going in the right direction. But then you have Universal Geeky, and for some reason, and I think I know why, they published The Last Jedi on its own. And until this day, I'm so fucking pissed off. I mean, I suppose they thought it was a movie novelization or something. Someone from the publishing company, The Last Jedi.
So the Last Jedi being the Michael
Reed's
Reed's
novel.
Yeah. So they didn't publish Coruscant Nights, but they published Last Jedi.
Yes, the one Reeves novel I consider shit is the
Last
one
Jedi.
they published. Yeah, and the only one my brother read, and it's good because he likes it. I suppose if you don't have a point of comparison with other Reeves stuff, you will find it amazing.
Papa Wedge is asking you a question in chat that I don't understand because I don't know what Treasure Planet is.
Jason, do you agree that Treasure Planet is in the same universe as Star Wars? Of course, Papa Wedge. Treasure Planet is on the same universe. I don't even know why you are asking. You can clearly see it happens on 5 ABY. I think he's joking because Joe made it canon to Star Wars timeline.
Is it one of the many Supernatural Encounters insertions?
One of the best. I don't know if Treasure Planet is a novel, but I know it's a Disney movie where it's adaptation. It's a sci-fi adaptation of Treasure Island.
The best thing about Supernatural Encounters is you can just say that it makes anything canon, and you can't disprove it unless you actually read Supernatural Encounters. But so few people have actually read it because it's just completely unreadable.
I mean,
it's made a lot of things canon. If you believe
it's
a real Star Wars novel, which of course it isn't.
I mean, if you think about it, they made Hitler canon because Indiana Jones is in the Star Wars universe, and Indiana Jones had an autograph by Hitler. So
I'm back.
Mm.
The first thing I hear is Indiana Jones with an autograph by Hitler. What are you talking about?
Talking about Indiana Jones in Supernatural Encounters.
I can't, the moment I mention Indiana Jones and Hitler, Noah comes back, of course.
Of course.
No, Papa Wedge was making a joke about Joe making Treasure Planet canon, and
it definitely is.
In a way, he also made Hitler canon, because if he made Indiana Jones canon, therefore Hitler exists in the Star Wars universe.
Hitler already existed in the original Marvel comics. Remember the Swedish translation?
Oh yeah. See.
Okay.
So Hitler isn't. So Palpatine isn't the worst guy in the Star Wars universe. It's Hitler still.
It's Hitler. There's no one can be worse than Hitler by definition.
Exactly. I mean, how dare George try to reduce Hitler by making Palpatine?
Yeah.
Hitler is
if you think someone's worse than Hitler, you are trivializing Hitler.
Exactly. I mean,
Hitler is G canon. Yes.
Treasure Planet takes place in 3,650 NE. Whatever is NE? I would say it's lore, but I don't want Noah to get a ban or something.
Okay.
Welcome.
But so my first so just coming back to the original point. So the point is we didn't get much published here regarding Star Wars, and what we did was kind of messy. And on the comic side, it was a little better. You know, we are getting more comics published. I think Noah might be able to confirm, but I mean, around Europe, I think the common publisher is Panini as well.
Panini,
Can
yep.
you- Yes, Panini.
So, Jason, are you just reading a lot of books in English?
Yes.
Ah,
Most of actually, I started reading English with NJO.
ah.
So in a
You got
way, in
lucky
a
there.
sense. Oh, sorry.
You got lucky. You chose the best stuff to read in English.
Ah, yes.
If you'd started with Legacy of the Force, it would have been a whole different experience, and you wouldn't be here now.
I mean, if I started with Legacy of the Force, I would be in another stream right now. I would be doing the Supernatural Encounters literature club. But I mean, I will get to that, Dougie. Just let me finish my original train of thought. So comics wise, you know, Panini is a decent publisher. So, you know, by now we got most of the stuff released in comic regarding Legends comics. So, you know, all the main Star Wars comics. We got a Marvel Omnibus recently. We got all of Republic, all of Dark Comics, all of the Empire, all of Rebellion, and so on and so forth. So, but at the time when I met Noah and stuff, I didn't know we had a collection of EU comics published because they released the title of the collection was Comics Star Wars. So, but the problem was, you know, they decided to publish the Marvel comics first, and I thought, and you know, I didn't read them. I didn't read all of them, to be fair, so I won't be too harsh. But you know, the first cover was a Stormtrooper on, you know, that classic Marvel Comics 60s style, and I thought to myself, "God damn, this is lame." And I and I never got a single one of these comics, and I would just learn that the collection actually entails the whole EU much later. So I'm still hunting for some of these. I still need to find the X-Wing ones and Tales of the Jedi, you know, which are the main ones I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
Already found copies of Empire, Rebellion, KOTOR, Legacy, Republic. You know, I got a lot of stuff with me right now.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, technically my first comic was, you know, Vader Cry of Shittles, because for some reason they decided, and I suppose it was because it had Vader's name, but they decided to publish, you know, some of the comics, some of these EU one-offs as little paperbacks. So we got Darth Vader Cry of Shadows. We got Darth Vader the 90 Assassin, which was also shit. We got Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir. We also got, you know, that Darth Maul mini-series that was mentioned in Plagueis.
Yeah.
And we got that Tom Taylor Boba Fett comic that retconned his backstory or something. With the Cardon stuff. And, you know, I was going downtown, you know, just hanging with my family. And that was the first time, I usually got some comics, mostly cape shit. And, you see the cover, you see Vader, lifting up a bunch of rebels looking all menacing and stuff. And my 16-year-old brain just thought it was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
So, I got it. I read it. It was all right. Nowadays, I think it's a little worse on reread. But for a first experience with Star Wars comics and the EU, wasn't necessarily a bad one. But my first cool Star Wars EU book or Star Wars comic was Dark Empire. I was just starting to collect the EU. I think it was when I started watching Noah and Josh's Legacy of the Force Takedown. It was I admit they were my I was doing anything, cleaning the dishes, cleaning the backyard, and I would just listen to them. There is a saying, never meet your heroes, so they were my heroes.
Did you hear that, Noah?
I heard that, yeah.
But to be fair, I like you, Noah. You are a nice person, when we are talking about cool stuff. But
Compartmentalizing the bad stuff.
yes. When we are talking about that stuff, we are just sharing trauma. But it was around the time I was starting to watch Noah and Josh and their Legacy of the Force Beatdowns. I kind of started watching Matt Wilkins a few weeks prior. I'm not going to lie. I was part of the group that thought Matt Wilkins was God, who saw that guy who had the amazing Star Wars collection and, who had a funny little, Southern accent and talked about the EU. And he knew the chronological order as best as he knew how, He was just, the Star Wars EU guy you looked for. Which was when I got the Dark Empire from a second-hand seller. It was the English paperback with the Kevin J. Anderson introduction.
Yes, I have that.
I still have it.
It's the one where he says, "Don't take this too seriously because if Lucas ever does equals, they're going to be completely different."
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, Papa Wedge knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, 70 volumes. Exactly, man. Makes a cool picture if you put them together in the shelf. Yeah, we got that here.
Yeah.
It is a very usual thing for them to do here. The publishers that aren't Panini. I think the name of the other publisher was the one who did Comic Star Wars was Planeta di Agostini. I think you know what I'm talking about, Papa Wedge. And they do that stuff. I hate it because if you don't have the comics, if you don't have all of them, you just have a shitty, you just have a shitty spine randomly on your shelf. Bye, Papa Wedge. Have a nice birthday.
Bye.
I don't know if it's yours or someone's, but have a nice birthday nonetheless. And it was the first time I read a true EU story, Dark Empire. One that is important to the EU lore. And I would say it was very fun. I like Dark Empire. I know, it is still very divisive, even among EU fans. But I like the story and the Cam Kennedy art. I think part of the reason why I like it is just because I don't consider Dark Empire 2 and Empire's End too much. I think
Yeah.
of Dark Empire, the first volume as its own isolated thing.
Yes, there's a huge drop in quality to 2 and Empire's End, and they're also completely unnecessary because one after Dark Empire you get the Jedi Academy trilogy, and the Jedi Academy trilogy references the events of Dark Empire, but it doesn't
Yes.
really reference the events of Dark Empire 2 and Empire's End, even though Cam Solusar's in there.
Exactly.
And obviously he's in Dark Empire 2, but there's still no real references to 2 and Empire's End. They're just kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, which I
And
think it's
Empire's End is just a mess.
yeah, I think it's 2 issues, right?
Yes, 2 issues, and there are plot points in the first issue that are just ignored in the second issue. It's
Amazing.
everything suffered in the 90s because they didn't have enough issues to tell the whole story. I mean, Dark Empire was 6 issues and it was still quite good, but Tales of the Jedi, and particularly the Sith War, only got 6 issues to tell an entire war, and that makes it feel very, very rushed. And I think the Fall of the Sith Empire is only 5 issues, and that's trying to tell the story of the entire hyperspace war, which just isn't feasible. Whereas later on, Dark Horse, you got like 50 issues to tell KOTOR and 50 issues to tell Legacy. And they had a lot more opportunity to tell and Republic, the MMP. The quality was better overall because they had time to tell the stories. Whereas Empire's End, they got 2 issues to tell the entire fall of Palpatine and the final death of Palpatine, allegedly.
My brother says Empire's End is worth it just for the illustration of Han Solo shooting Palpatine dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can.
I mean, I love how Tom Veitch kind of canonized that Han Solo killed more Jedi and Sith than Boba Fett.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm not sure Boba Fett killed any.
Yeah, exactly. Boba Fett never killed a single Jedi or Sith. His father killed Komari Vosa, and Han Solo killed fucking Palpatine. And, it's just amazing. Try to...
I mean, according to Karen Travis, Boba killed all the Jedi. Totally.
Yes. He's such an expert that Jaina had to learn from him.
How to kick people in
How
the
to kick people in the balls. It never would have occurred to the Jaina Solo of the New Jedi Order to fight unconventionally.
Yes, because how wasn't the beatdown? She was a spoiled little Jedi princess.
Yes.
That's what Travis seemed to think. That's what Travis really believed. That Jaina was a spoiled Jedi princess who was sheltered from the world.
Amazing.
Amazing. And people think the expanded universe was,
coherent?
one incredibly coherent story.
That's another interesting thing to talk about, because it also ties with why I started with NJO, where you are kind of sold this image of the EU. We got kind of polar opposites going on during the early Disney era, 2014 up until 2017, where we had the decanonization, we had people trying to vehemently defend Disney movies, and and on the other side we had the EU people who were attacked made fun of, for silly shit like Stevie, the Jedi droid,
Mhm.
and Mountain Sorrow or something like that. Open the sack.
Some really obscure EU shit.
Yeah. And I mean, remember when people made fun of Palpatine being reborn?
Yes.
That was
That
those were
changed
good
quickly once that movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. And I didn't enjoy the Disney movies. I went to watch both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi on the theaters. I was a dumb 16-year-old, so I suppose I would. But at the time, I thought, people were, some of the YouTubers, like I think it was Hello Greedo, were very aggressive at Legends fans. It was,
Right.
very mean spirited. And I was
Yeah.
like, hey, come on. There are some cool things I heard about Legends. And that brings me to when I met, Matt's channel for the first time. You see the playlist with 200 videos, and you were like, what the fuck? And bite-sized 5 to 10 minute videos of Matt just giving his thoughts on certain comics and books. And Matt does see it as before the reread, of course. In the original videos, he did see the EU as a tapestry, a coherent universe and whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of got the polar opposites going on during that time, where you have the canon people going all out, trying to shit on the EU to save face with the sequels. And you have the EU people going over defensive and trying to claim the EU was just, this amazing picture of coherent and team effort storytelling that,
Yeah.
was amazing in all of its aspects. And I would say while the Disney side of the discussion died down further, the further the years went by, with stuff like The Last Jedi and like Skywalker, the Disney people kind of lost the argument. So, about look at the EU and how shitty it is. Look at Palpatine being reborn, and then now we have them trying to lick the fence for Rise of Skywalker, and
Yeah.
Palpatine appearing on Fortnite. But then, then the EU side kind of got an ego boost, if I would say. Palpatine appeared in Rise of Skywalker, and people kind of got high on the ego. We did it better. We did Dark Empire, which I don't think anyone would disagree that Dark Empire is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And and we had some of the people who were disappointed with The Last Jedi, and we had the Legacy of the Force defense group ready to present them with the alternative that was Darth Guidus to Kylo Ren. Hey, you like the
Yes.
emo
The people who thought that this is the EU did it right.
Yes. So while the Disney cans kind of lost the argument and they stopped shitting on the EU so much, I feel the opposite never happened, where the EU fans felt the need to be less defensive and admit the flaws of the EU. In fact, I would say it got worse during 2019, 2021. And now we were starting to see a little of that, kind of die down. But yeah, it was a little rough around that time.
I'm not asking much. Just
Do you think that's why people are so toxically positive towards the EU at times? It's because they're defensive of people.
Sorry, I can barely hear you because of the game.
I was saying, do
But
you think that's the psychology behind the sort of the toxic positivity that there is for the EU at times?
I suppose so. Yes, it came from the idea of trying to defend the EU, which hey, I think it's more than fair. You know, if you like something, sure, go ahead and defend it. You know, I would never personally defend Legacy of the Force and our Empire with my life like these people do. But I mean, go
Or
ahead.
Children of the Jedi.
Or Children of the Jedi. But I mean, for instance, if you want to corrupt people and say, you know, CP was never canon, Mount Sorrow was never canon, hey, that's more than fair, you know, let's, you know, correct people.
Yeah. I mean,
But then-
people who say that 90% of the EU was shit is the sort of thing that will get me to correct them. And
Yes,
no,
exactly.
Actually, it's probably about 30%.
Yeah, you know, people being overly ignorant, you know, it's fair game, you know, for you to correct them, because then they are just being either ignorant or malicious. So, hey, that's fair. But it seems that defensiveness towards the EU turned into blind love for it. And, you know, nowadays we are having to kind of filter through it to see what actually is good, because now we have that wave of fans who try to act like every single part of the EU was amazing.
Yeah.
One example of it that I think it's very funny is during the early era of Disney Star Wars. You know, we had the Force Awakens being released, and you know, the First Order destroys, I think, Elysium Prime, the name of the
Yeah.
planet. And they basically destroyed the New Republic, and they had to basically say the New Republic made a militarized, and you know, more nerdy people like Eckhart's Ladder and the likes of who did lore videos kind of
Yeah.
played off the idea a lot. And the comment sections would always go on about how cool the New Republic on the EU was, because they were, you know, they had a cool giant fleet. And then you have Dan, you know, someone who is also a very cool dude, reading the Benton novels and just being absolutely flabbergasted at how shitty the government is on those books.
Yes. Racist and incompetent.
And then even on New Jedi Order, the New Republic was incompetent, to be fair, on purpose. And then we had the Galactic Federation, which was a step up, in my opinion, which was actually cool, both fleet-wise and politics-wise. Only for Darth Matt to then come and make the Federation the New Republic too. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of potential with the Galactic Federation. Like, if they basically made it so that the galaxy was a disparate group of, you know, loosely allied kingdoms and alliances, you basically have room for anything going wrong between those groups. But they just ignored it, and it became New Republic 2.0 from Dark Nest onwards.
Yeah. Exactly. And my point is, you see how, you know, Canon made something which was kind of bad, but you know, the EU also did something that was kind of shitty on its own. But you know, you have fans who are disappointed by the new stuff, kind of going over to the EU stuff for the wrong reasons and judging it based on the idea and the aesthetics. Oh, look at that, you know, a Star Destroyer with a giant, you know, New Republic logo on it, which is cool, to be fair. but it's not. It's not what makes a government well written per se.
Well, I find it's the case that if you there's quite a lot of fans who they're expanded universe fans, but they don't really read the books. So all they get about the lore comes from lore videos, and lore videos don't go into detail about how terrible characterizations are and things like that. So from a very low resolution perspective, it all comes across as being good storytelling.
Very cool.
And it's only when you actually open the books and find that Jason and Jaina are horrifically mischaracterized by Troy Denning and others and things like that that actually before Disney came along, before Disney Lucasfilm came along and ruined Star Wars, there was something very similar going on.
Already ruined.
Yes.
Actually, that's a fun story. As you can see, I think by my username and my picture on Discord, I think you can assume who is my favorite character on Star Wars.
Yeah.
But that's actually a funny story about Kaidus and me starting to hate Legacy of the Force. The first time when I was baby steps to learn EU lore. It's of course Wikipedia, which is a mess to be fair. But baby steps. I started. One day I decided to read the Wikipedia page on Jason while Matt was releasing the Legacy of the Force videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading that stuff, and I'm not kidding you. I felt something was very off when we go to the Dark Kaido section. When he falls, because I'm reading a character who was a kid, grown up, became the hero of the story, and then just fell off in spectacular fashion. And in the same time, I was watching Matt gushing about the Legacy of the Force series, and it was probably my first red flag about Matt Wilkins. It was the Legacy of the Force videos, and that's when by some miracle, by some divine intervention, on the recommended tab was Noah's Legacy of the Force Beatdown. So the first time I learned, so I always felt something was off when I read the Wookiee page, when I heard Matt Wilkins gushing about it, and with the Legacy of the Force Beatdown videos Noah and Josh did, I finally understood the why of it feeling so off. And it very much felt like getting it felt like knowing who it was like feeling something off about the JFK assassination, and someone from the CIA calls you and gives you all the reasons why JFK was assassinated. So it felt like me going into the iceberg of the Star Wars expanded universe, and it was so good to finally see why I didn't like the idea of Jason falling to the dark side. It wasn't me just being schizophrenic. It was an actual real life issue that Noah and Josh pointed out to me. And it was the first time I got straight up disillusioned with the EU, and it was before even reading Darkness. So for those who don't know, I only read Darkness. I didn't read Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi yet. And to be fair, I am scared of doing it. But it was kind of wild, and it was very funny to hear Noah and Josh talk about it. When I did read Darkness, I tried to be fair with it. You know, I was like, I had just finished the Unifying Force. I think it took 2 months for the Unifying Force to deliver. I don't remember the why. I think something got wrong with the address. But then it took very much a while for the Unifying Force to get here. You know, and when I read it, it was just amazing. You know, Lucino.
Yeah.
The Unifying Force made Lucino enter my top 3 authors.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I waited 2 months. I was working on a shitty place. And you know, during my break, I had 30-minute breaks, and I was like, hey, I might read something during my work breaks. You know, I'm already working on a shitty place, might as well read a shitty book. So I decided to pick Joiner King. And it's also the first Star Wars book I read on PDF, and I hate reading on PDFs, you know.
So it's just an all-round
so-
terrible experience.
Yes, it was. It was. You know, I don't know what was going on through my head during that time. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. You know, going on a shitty job. You know, still going to school, and you know, maybe I was feeling a little masochistic during that time, which is why I decided to read Joiner King.
Yeah.
I decided to give it a shot. You know. And then I read Joiner King, and within the first fucking chapter, we got Troy Denning right so like a goddamn emo. And
Yeah.
God, it was painful. Like, how was it at the time, Dougie? You know, the overall reception of Darkness and your view of Darkness.
So Dark Nest itself was received quite well, and I've got the TFN scores, and I think the first one had a score that was bigger than 8.0, and there were a lot of people who weren't too happy with the NJO, who thought that Dark Nest was a breath of fresh air. But I mean, this was. You know, the fandom was weird because it had people who loved NJO, and then it had people who were, you know, pushing for Marvel series to be referenced and involved in this book stories going forwards, and it was, you know, it was a little bit schizophrenic, but no one had any idea what Dark Nest was setting up. So that was, you know, a real surprise. And even when Legacy of the Force was released, it was very positively received at first. So Betrayal and Bloodlines, you know, not many people were picking up on the fact that Jason's characterization was, you know, way off. And it was only I think past the halfway point where you got to books like Revelation in particular that people started turning against the Denningverse.
I see. Actually, that's the funny. It must have been a little wild. What do you remember what you thought when you first read Darkness?
I didn't really think much of it, to be honest. I thought it was sort of again I wasn't picking up that Jason was massively out of character. And it wasn't until I read essays about how Jason was out of character that I actually thought, oh yes, this is correct. There's something wrong here. I was a lot slower on the pickup. You know, it wasn't. Like I say, it wasn't until towards the end of Legacy of the Force that I was like, I'm really against this. It was because I was, you know, I was quite a hardcore fan by then, and I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that although Legacy of the Force was a bit out there and completely miserable, that they would somehow make it worth it and they'd stick the landing. But of course they didn't. And I remember I remember writing a thread on the Force.net literature forums that was like, do you think Lucasfilm knows that we were disappointed by Legacy of the Force? Because it was only sort of the end of the series that I was worried by the direction that Star Wars was going in.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit slow on the uptake. I'd love to say that, you know, by the time I'd read Join the King, I thought it was
I read the first page and I was
the worst
already
thing in the
feeling
world.
sussy.
Yeah, but I just my comprehension skills weren't good enough.
No, to be fair, it makes sense. I think Dark Nest being horrendous is just something that you kind of get in retrospect,
Yeah.
knowing the kind of things Denning said, and you know, like having Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi as further context, kind of makes Dark Nest worse in retrospect. You know, Dark Nest, I already think it's a mess. I think the plot of the novels themselves are kind of bad. And I don't
Yeah.
like the killings. I think the whole war on them against the Shiz is just so bad and one-sided. Because we never get a proper perspective of the Chiss on the conflict, where you know, because on their view, the Killiks are a literal hive mind, who you know are a bunch of evil insects who are taking people to their nest. And you know, then he never touches on that because you know the Killiks are the cool little guys who do their little mating dance and wake up the next day without clothes. Besides that, but and you know Jason stuff and the dark side, and you know Danny just not handling well the characterizations is just the icing on the cake of an already very boring series.
But if it had just been if we had just got 3 mediocre Dark Nest novels and then nothing else had happened, I wouldn't despise them as much as I do. But it's the fact that they're the setup for the Legacy of the Force, and that they do all the heavy lifting in terms of gaslighting the reader to misremember the events of the NJO. Like, you know, it tells you, hey, remember how the Jedi had grown completely ruthless during the Yuuzhan Vong War, and that they were basically, you know, the ends justify any means. And you know, if you haven't read the NJO for a couple of years, you might think, oh yeah, maybe that was what happened. But it's only when if you read the Unifying Force and then you read Joy of the King, you go, hang on a second, this is a whole different continuity. It's reimagining. You know, it's completely gaslighting the reader, as Noah once said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a gaslighting book.
Yeah, and yeah, to be fair, we only know, and you know, having both books to compare, you know, the end of the Unifying Force, which is, you know, very hopeful, very happy, you know, counting what happened, you know, it has been a 5-year galactic war, so it is as happy as it can be of an ending.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Dark Nest, and everything, I don't know if it's just me, but everything felt so heavy, you know, very everyone felt in a bad mood, which isn't something I expected from a post-NJO novel, you know, on a time of relative peace.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I got a lighter tone from, you know, X-Wing when, you know, they were at war with the Imperial Remnant over fucking Darkness. But maybe
Yeah, I was looking forward to the post NJO period being a bit lighter.
Yes.
You know, I enjoyed the NJO going to a deeply dark place and then coming back to back to being hopeful and optimistic by the end of it.
Yes.
But I would have taken, you know, some goofy adventures in the vein of the better Bantam stuff, but instead
Yeah.
it went completely nihilistic.
Yeah, and I think it's worse because nihilism is even nihilism itself, as per Nietzsche's thoughts, that if you get lost on hopelessness and just being depressing, you kind of lost the point of nihilism. Because the point of nihilism is realizing nothing matters and then making something out of it. Giving yourself your own purpose.
Yeah.
So, this NGO kind of got that, given the heroes' helplessness, and then bringing them back in full force, only for banning and stuff just completely shit on it.
Okay, I've never done this attempt with like a sniper rifle. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna fail horrendously.
So no, yeah, you are streaming. I was going to say you weren't streaming, but you are.
That looked less like a sniper and more like a very sci-fi AK-47. But what was I going to ask?
What country is this, Noah?
That's Colorado.
Oh, is this the awful mission?
Yes, that's the worst mission in Hitman 1.
So you're doing it in like 2 minutes. Except you missed.
I killed one and they haven't found me yet.
Oh yeah, something interesting, Dougie. So since I am playing Jedi Outcast, something I learned recently is that they published Dark Forces here, and I don't know why, but the company that published Dark Forces 2 hired a whole dubbing team to
Holy shit, I may actually do this.
in Portuguese, which is kind of wild
Oh
when I
my!
think about it, because it's early. It's still a relatively early era for PC gaming.
Yeah.
And so I was searching on the
They found me.
on the other day, and I just saw it being dubbed. It must be a fandom or something. And then I see it, and it had actual professional people dubbing it, and I was so shocked.
Oh fuck! Oh,
Because
you guys see that?
What happened?
This is the closest you'll ever see to Noah being actually happy playing this game.
Can they see
Killing
me?
people.
You got so excited when you pulled off a kill there. The sniper kill.
Yeah, they can totally see me. I'm screwed. I'm beyond fucking screwed. I nailed it though. I killed all 4 of them. Wait.
Maybe no
You
one
just
should
gotta-
work as a.
You just gotta
hired
find
person.
and the einen Ausgang. Find yourself an exit.
I'm almost out of. But that was sweet. Well, before they all came up here, it was sweet. I got all 4 of them with the sniper rifle.
Now you got no bullets.
Whoops. What else do I have? Poison and a camera. Yeah. So, guys, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. No, please. No, okay. Can I load? No. Okay, play again.
So really, you got to
Maybe I
find
should
games
kill
that
these
are like
people
this.
before I start sniping.
Do you like the stealth aspect of this, Noah? Is that the thing that appeals, or is it the repetitive getting better the more you play it?
Okay, sweet.
It's too
Sweet.
focused.
I am absolutely. I got all 4 of them with the sniper rifle. First try. That was epic. I want to do it again right now. I just don't want to get swarmed again by these assholes. Okay, I started with Ezra, and he's still in the basement right now. Ezra Miller, that is. I have like a 15% better chance now to escape. Got him. Who was next? Sean Rose? There he is. They found his body. That's not good.
Sean Rose confirmed down. Nicely done. Graves is down.
They are not swarming this place yet. I just need her to come out. Come on! Oh no, they sounded the alarm. Come on, come on. Okay, drop it. Get down. Oh shit. Can I even... Doesn't matter. Escaped. Oof.
Well done.
For a first sniper attempt, it went pretty well. One star. I mean, that's unfair. I mean, hey, 2 minutes? Suit only, I got all targets first try. But I unlocked something, that's nice. But yeah, Colorado may be the worst mission ever. I'm trying to think if there is a worse map. But I think that was enough Hitman for today for me.
Why is your now? I just noticed. Why the fuck is your wallpaper the Flash?
Because that picture is very funny.
What the fuck?
It's that amazing German sense of humor.
Let me quickly check something we talked about earlier. Total hours in Hitman World of Assassination, 178. Okay.
To be fair, I would have expected more.
Yeah.
You're going to be a day one purchase of the James Bond game.
I mean, sure, it depends on how much it's going to cost. I'm not too thrilled paying a lot of money for games.
That's fair. Particularly because they're like $80 nowadays,
Hmm.
and $80 translates into €80.
Any more Star Wars shit to talk about, or are you guys done?
Star Wars out, man.
I think I mentioned this before, but the only Star Wars books I would be interested in reading again are Tarkin and Catalyst, because James Luceno.
Well, Catalyst is very good. I
I
think
hope so, because it's his final novel until he,
Yeah.
unless he's gonna release another one now, which
it's
I don't.
it's quite funny. Like it's the rate at which Krennic has to murder Death Star scientists after every breakthrough or failure gets to be quite a running joke.
See, I've read this book years ago. I don't remember anything about it.
I think it's the best thing in the new canon.
Really?
I mean, that's not saying much.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I got it because Tyrannus wanted me to watch Endor, and since I'm going to watch Endor, I might as well use it as an excuse to buy more Luceno.
Then why didn't you buy
So-
Tarkin?
Fuck Tarkin.
Why?
Why the fuck? I don't know. I mean, is it good?
It was okay.
It's fine.
It's a James Luceno book, so it's not going to be bad. But
He's not nearly as interesting a character as Darth Plagueis. He wrote that because he had a writer's block in terms of getting round to his sequel to Darth Plagueis. And in the meantime, he came up with the Tarkin idea, and then obviously they made it new canon. But I think it started off as an expanded universe concept and then got changed. But it's kind of it's not phoned in, but it's like
It's a bit
it's
off.
like it's a 6.5 for me, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, if I have, if someday I get interested in reading about Tarkin, maybe. But from Luceno novels, I still gotta read Catalyst, which I just got, and Cloak of Deception.
Well, Cloak of Deception is very good as well.
well, not according to Matt Wilkins.
Well, he's
It's-
entitled to his opinion. I disagree.
Oh, did
We
we
should
talk
go
about
back
his
to watching
work
Matt's videos.
when I found that again?
I mean, you look at Cloak of Deception and the storyline, and you think this sounds like the most boring story, but you actually read it, and it's a political thriller, basically. It's Palpatine positioning himself to be Supreme Chancellor, and that itself is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I did. My interest in reading it kind of got higher after I finished Plagueis, because the whole two perspective things going on. Getting the more Jedi perspective of around that time, and because just yesterday I was watching a review of the Starfighter games, the PS2 games. And the guy who did the review was an EU fan. And in one of the levels where you are, I think you were playing as a pirate and attacking
Yes.
a Federation shipyard or something.
Yeah.
Or cargo hold. I think it was cargo. And then he just went off on a tangent on explaining a bit of Cloak of Deception and how it ties into the game. And it was so out of nowhere that it kind of got me thinking like, wow, Cloak of Deception must be actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That got me more interested than actually hearing good things about it. Just the out of pocket Starfighter guy mentioning Cloak of Deception out of nowhere. Like that's the kind of thing I want to see. Like for no reason at all. But actually answering your question on why I'm not that interested in Tarkin. It's not because of the character. I think Peter Cushing is a great actor. I enjoy his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes. But I think the thing is that while I like the EU. I like a lot of it. I would say of what I read, which of course is not everything and has been filtered a lot, I liked around 80% of what I read. Which is NJO, the first 7 X-Wing novels, the Reeves stuff, some of the Benton books. I read True Sebakura, Jedi Academy, the Tron trilogy. What else? The Crystal
So
Star. Of course.
you're mostly being careful to read good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you're being quite discerning, apart from Jedi Academy trilogy.
Yes, I am afraid that Jedi Academy is the one exception because it was on my early EU buyer phase. I got Vector Prime and Dark Tide, and I saw that on Amazon there is the Jedi Academy box set, with all 3 books. And I was like, hey, that seems like a nice price for 3 books. And I got all of them. So, by the time they arrived and I read Jedi Search, I already had all of them. So, whatever. So yeah, what I read of the EU, I enjoyed. I enjoyed quite a lot, and even some of the stuff people really don't like. For instance, Jen really seems to dislike Jen and Maxwell really seem to dislike The Force Unleashed. I am biased because the video game is from my childhood, so yeah, I'm fucked on that regard. But and of course, I think I already said that, but I read The Force Unleashed right after finishing Swarm War. No, actually, I was reading Joiner King at my work, and at home I was reading The Force Unleashed. So yeah, I was having the triple shit experience at work, and when I got home, I was happy, and that probably got me. That probably made me think of the novelization a bit better than most people. Maybe if I reread it, I will see it as worse. But but the main point is with Catalyst, I can kind of pretend it is EU. There isn't a lot of stuff written for that time frame of for the EU. We got Coruscant Knights, we got Dark Times, Legacy of the Jedi, What else? The Dark Times era in general really is one of the cleaner eras of the EU.
Yes.
Catalyst is one of those novels I can take. I think you mentioned it once, that Catalyst feels like something that Lucino would do, even if the EU continued.
Yes. Yes, because there isn't any. Obviously, Rogue One itself directly contradicts the expanded universe, but
Yes.
but it's like Catalyst doesn't really. There's nothing.
Mhm.
There's nothing in there that directly. You've got to assume that Krennic is a character that exists, and obviously there's no evidence of him in the expanded universe. So you've got things like that, and you've got the Ursos as characters in it who obviously are in Rogue One and not in the expanded universe. But you can sort of beyond that you can pretend, and it's like he's got Rin characters in there, for instance, which the Rin
Really?
are something that he created
He
for
created,
Agents of
for
Chaos.
JO. Yeah.
So he, Lucino's attitude to the, putting the expanded universe on ice and starting a new canon was basically like, I don't care.
I mean, I do. I suppose it makes sense, especially because he read most of it when he started writing NJO. So I mean,
like with Tarkin references Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader.
no, that's nice.
It references Mission on Mercana. It's very, there are more references in his canon books to expanded universe stuff than there is to
Canon
new
stuff, per
canon,
se.
basically.
Mhm.
And that can be quite cool. It's particularly the case with Zahm's Ascendancy trilogy, which is okay. That stuff directly references Outbound Flight. Really, really strong. So like there are these novels that, if you want to squint a little bit and pretend that the expanded universe is still a thing, you can still get some enjoyment out of. And it's kind of a shame that there are people who, the expanded universe purists who are bending over backwards to find lost media that's super duper obscure, and then really they could be enjoying the new canon stuff that has been written like guerrilla expanded universe novels. They would have got a lot of enjoyment out of.
I mean, I think I agree that EU purists and people who maximize EU canon, who try to be all encompassing about the EU, are kind of cringe. Mostly because I think everyone to a certain level had a threshold in regards to personal canon. For instance, I mean, I have my own canon. I mean, I know the EU is a canon, and I know Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi are canon to the EU, and I don't care because I don't like the ideas presented in those books. So my head canon stops at Jedi Order. If I want to include something like Andor or Catalyst, I might as well. So I think you are on that side of the fence, right? I mean, if you like something, you might add to your personal canon, and if you dislike it, you might as well.
I mean, at certain points, I put some new canon books in my expanded universe shelf. At the moment, I've just got the Ascendancy trilogy there. Everything else is in its own little new canon section. But you know me, I've got my Apocrypha, which is the stuff that I don't consider to be authentic to the mission statement of the expanded universe, which is to expand Star Wars beyond the films without subverting or changing the meaning of those films. And I think that the Denningverse does that. And
Yeah.
I think that the Marvel comics are also part of that nonsense.
Makes sense.
So those sit apart from the real expanded universe stuff for me.
Mhm.
And that's how I've been. I'm a sort of Lucy Wilson canon. I think that the expanded universe was going well when Lucy Wilson was in charge, and when she left, it went to shit.
Lucy who?
Mhm.
What do you mean, Lucy? Oh, are you being Matt? Are you pretending to be Matt?
Lucy.
I mean,
Lucy the Heck?
who?
Lucy the Liar?
This random
Uh,
nobody who claimed George didn't personally sign off on Dark Empire.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, it's totally fair, And now that you mention it, what is in your Apocrypha shelf, Dougie? Besides the Zeniverse and the Marvel Comics, what is it that you consider to be against the EU mission?
Okay,
Besides the
so
obvious suspects.
so there's everything from Joiner King through to Crucible, with the
Oh, yes.
exception of the Kemp novels and Mercy Kill, and
Mhm.
an edited version of Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Heart of the Jedi is in there. Splinter of the Mind's Eye is in there because I think that I think that it subverts the films, because Luke didn't meet Vader before Empire Strikes Back. It's just not acceptable. And
It's just bollocks.
yeah, it's just daft. It changes the meaning of the film if it's their second meeting.
Mhm.
Wood Wars is in there.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
the,
Wood Wars.
the Brian Wood Star Wars stuff, and Scoundrels is in there because it has
It's shit.
it's shit, and it has Lando and Han talking after the Crispin novel had established the reasons why they had fallen out.
Oh,
So
on that
that's-
note, you would also need to have the Yavin Basilica comic down there.
yeah, it's not there yet, but I if I reread it and I don't like it, it's going there.
It has to be there. It directly.
Yeah.
It's same. It was the first story to contradict the Crispin stuff on
Okay,
purpose
I'll
because
move it.
Bria is in it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, that's part of why I try to be a little more careful with mostly buying nowadays, not necessarily reading, because I can read bad EU with PDFs even if I hate it. It's still funny to read them, but it's the reason why I try to be so thorough when buying EU, because I don't want to, collect the bad stuff here, physically. The only reason I have Crucible on my shelf is because at the moment I'm sharing the shelf with my brother. But the
Right.
moment I can, I am removing that shit so fucking quick. I just because it's so agonizing. I have that beautiful The Unifying Force hardcover. Just chef's kiss.
A wonderful
And-
ending, and no, actually, the
Yeah.
ending is Crucible.
Yeah, and the worst part is that I got a hardcover Foundation right next to it, so even quality wise, you got a very amazing James Luceno Star Wars book, and then you got a classic by Asimov, and
Yeah.
right in the middle there is Denning's Law.
Yeah.
So I can't even say the book itself is good to justify its inclusion, but
No,
well,
just
but
happens to be there.
it was either removing that or Razor's Edge, and it was easier to convince my brother to remove Razor's Edge.
Yeah. I think the key to not burning out is being discerning like that. Whereas on the flip side, you've got Noah who's read Ruins of Dantooine twice.
Hey, Ruins of Dantooine was actually good.
It wasn't. It wasn't. The
It,
best thing
it
about
was
Ruins.
on second read, I was like, hey, this may be the best Rebellion era novel. Because everything else was so shit.
Better than Allegiance, better than Choices of One, better than Razor's Edge, and better than
Honor Among
Scoundrels.
Thieves.
Scoundrels.
Honor Among Thieves is the only competition Runes of Dantooine has. It's like the best Rebellion era novel because the Rebellion era is fucking cancer.
And what makes Ruins of Dantooine best, apart from the fact that it's short?
It is short.
It's over quickly.
It has new characters as the main characters.
I would say, yeah,
it expands
that's what I would say. Yeah.
the setting. You know, by also bringing in Naboo, for example, it also connects closer with the prequel. It connects prequels and originals closer.
Do you
It
like
has
You
a
how?
mean like
very-
Karen Travis? You mean like the way Karen Travis mentions Naboo 1,000 times in Legacy?
No, this one is fine. It has an Inquisitor. He doesn't do anything.
Do
but he's in
you
there.
like how it introduces the Inquisitor like he's going to be a character in the book, and then you don't see him for the rest of the book?
Absolutely, it subverted my expectations, and it was great. And then the main story is decent. It's something different. They're just looking for a holocron. You know, it feels like the game. It feels like a shitty old 2000s game.
It feels
I
like
love
it,
how-
yeah.
I love how you went with a straight face and said new story and proceeded to say they are looking for a holocron. Like, I'm sorry,
Breaking ground.
It broke new ground, let me tell you. It absolutely did.
bro. They are looking for a holocron. Seems like a very bad setup in one of the RPG source books or something. Make your players look for the holocron.
They're looking
Yeah.
for the magic MacGuffin.
But in the books, it's something new, and it's new characters. And it's like the rebellion through the eyes of random nobodies.
No,
And then there's a twist.
No, I kind of get that. You know, I'm just making a little fun of it. But compared to, let's say, Jedi, what is the name? Battlefront Twilight Company. How does it compare to the Legends stuff?
Twilight
on the
Company?
Rebellion era?
Twilight
Battlefront.
Company is one of my favorites.
Oh, I see.
really
And
I don't like it because I think it's law breaking in ways, because it has the Rebel Alliance take territory without any kind of navy. They just take territory in the mid rim, and the Empire falls back, and that makes no sense to me because I don't think the Rebellion actually holds any territory during the Galactic Civil War until Return of the Jedi. It's just an insurrection.
Don't they
of
have?
course, bro.
I maybe
Apart from like Mon
don't they have
Calamari.
Mon Calamari?
It's the game.
Yeah,
it's
they've got Mon Cal- There's like a handful of independent systems that the Empire, you know, the ones that are in open rebellion, but most of the planets aren't in open rebellion until the second Death
No,
Star is
but-
destroyed.
But you
in my
see,
opinion.
Dougie, it's a way to show the Galactic Conquest game mode from Battlefront. They won the battle, therefore they conquered the planet, bro.
Yes, it's
But-
there are some really interesting characters in Twilight Company that are really
Yep.
enjoyable to listen to read, playing off each other. But the problem is that they get separated about halfway through the book, and they never get back together. And
Mm-hmm.
they're much more boring when they're on their own, basically.
I have to reread Twilight Company to refute all your bullshit criticisms. I mean, I read it. Two reasons that I loved the book. First off, it reminded me of playing the classic Battlefronts, and I could just do whatever and make up my own story for the soldiers. That was fun.
Yes.
And the main character in the book being like a cynical asshole.
Yeah, but he's a cynical asshole, and there's the female Imperial character. Do you remember you remember her?
Yeah, I remember.
Both of them are really interesting, sort of broken, cynical, not really in it for the cause kind of characters. But you get to the Battle of Hoth, and they both go their separate ways, and then they don't play off each other for the rest of the book. And the book's
we shall see. I
always
will
a
reread
response.
Twilight Company. But the other thing I liked about it, it was essentially a DLC of the story in book form, because the game didn't have a story.
Pay for it. So it's kind of ingenious because that way
Yeah.
EA makes their, because the ones who do read it will get a little bit smarter. I
Because
believe
people
they are
complained
reading a
that
book.
Battlefront, the new game, didn't have a story, and so they published this book.
The
You know,
stories.
there was a time when I don't know if that happened in the US or in other places, but here, when Shadow of Mordor was releasing, there was a special edition that you could buy with a copy of a DVD of Return of the King. So imagine doing that with Battlefront, where you just, you buy the game and it comes with the book. It would have been, it would have been a little funny, Oh,
That would
here
have
is the
been epic.
story.
You
Read
want the
this
story?
before
Yeah.
playing.
And all the gamers
Or
get angry because they are illiterate and you force them to read a book.
oh,
But yeah,
God.
it was also kind of a shame because with like, it made me think you can make this a big series. Like Star
Mhm.
Wars Battlefront, insert subtitle,
Yes.
then you can write about fucking anything. Instead of X-Wing with like space battles, you can do ground battle shit.
Yeah, and to be fair, we get very few very few ground battles in Star Wars books.
Yeah, could have been great, could have been genius. So of course they didn't do it. But we got Battlefront Inferno Squad, a prequel to the second new
Game, yeah.
Battlefront game, which sucked.
Yeah, that wasn't any. There weren't any land battles in that. That was just a an average Christie Golden novel, which means not very good.
Mm-hmm.
I know the other canon video game tie-in is the Fallen Order one, which the only thing
Battle
I know
Scars.
the only thing I know is that it was published because the writer was dating the game developer or something.
She was
And
married. She was married to the lead
she's
writer.
married to him. Oh, amazing! And okay, so those are the two things I know.
But I'm
She's
sure
married to
she
the
got
lead
the
writer.
novel because she was the best person for the job, right?
Of course, no nepotism whatsoever.
No.
And the only other thing I know is that it has a lesbo relationship for no reason.
Well, it's the author's self-insert, basically. So the author who was married to the lead writer of Jedi Survivor, I think.
Mhm.
Their marriage ended because she realized she was a lesbian.
Really?
Yes, and then you've got Battle Scars, which has the female stormtrooper and the Dathomirian witch.
It's me.
Have a tryst.
What's the name of the author?
Sandmags.
Sandmags. Okay. It's me or the EU San.
It's me or New Canon, and she chose New Canon.
It's me or the new EU. It's me or the new canon, Max. And then she went off and continued writing fan fiction on Wattpad or something. I don't know. But if
quick answering this. No more stories with the main characters from the movies.
yes, God, please. That's the main criticism I have with NGO. There is too much Luke, too much Han, and too much Leia.
I'm okay with New Jedi Order because that was well balanced, I think, with the new cast.
Well, it was.
But then everything after was just no.
It passed the torch, and then you got the Dediverse, and everyone got scared and just didn't write out the original trilogy heroes at all.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm kind of jesting, but yes, I do think at the end of the Unifying Force, it should have been the definitive, shift from Luke, Han, Leia, and whatever to Jason, Jaina, and the, if you want to call it the Young Jedi Knights crew. Of course, the ones that didn't kill off screen. You know, you could have Jag and Jaina doing their little thing.
You could keep Danny
Jason.
Quee instead of writing her out completely.
Yes, you could have Danny Quee and Jason playing off each other, having nice little Aryan babies.
Imagine
Um,
what great discussions we're gonna have once you guys have all read the Denningverse.
Oh God. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I'm still not sure if I will reread Darknest for discussion's sake.
If you remember it well enough, you won't have to. but the rest-
Maybe I can read my old reviews of it. Maybe
Okay.
because I took screenshots of the pages I hated the most.
Mhm.
So maybe
Oh, have
that-
you a screenshot of the page where Luke says Palpatine was a really cool guy?
Oh God.
But going back to fucking Disney canon, I read some of the early books. I read A New Dawn, which was boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read Tarkin, which
Yes.
was okay, but not too memorable.
Mhm.
But was okay because Lucina. I read Heir to the Jedi, which was garbage fan fiction.
Yeah.
I read Battlefront Twilight Company, which was actually great. I read Catalyst, which I don't remember. I read Aftermath, which was a masterpiece of literature. I did read Lost Stars.
That's dramatically overrated, that book.
Yes, it is.
People- The manga adaptation is actually really good because it doesn't have all the stupid teenage angst stuff.
Mm.
But the book is just
wait, what book?
Lost Stars by Claudia Gray.
No idea. Never heard of it.
Really, that's the one that people kept hyping up as like the best new canon novel for years.
No.
Really? Okay. Well, when did it come out? 2015 or 16?
Yeah, not
It was one of the first books to touch on like the fucking the sequel era in a way.
Yes.
At the end, though, because it
has
basically
Battle
tells
of
the
Jakku.
story of like a bunch of teenagers. A boy and a girl. They are joining the Empire and they are in love essentially, and it's a love story going through the original trilogy. And then they split. One joins the rebellion, the other one stays with the Empire, and it turns into this tragic love story and stuff.
Yeah.
Which leads into the setup for the sequel trilogy with like the Battle of Jakku and whatever.
Yeah, it's basically all the greatest hits of the original trilogy from the perspective of these two characters, one being a rebel, one being an Imperial. And then it has the Battle of Jakku at the end. It's basically writing on easy mode because it just plays to the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
And that's why people loved it. But if you actually read it as a story on its own merit, and if you've read as much Star Wars as we all have, it's really not that great at all.
If this is like your first Star Wars book, I can see that you're like, wow, this is great. But and also the sex scenes were more graphic than anything Troy Denning ever wrote. And this is a YA book.
I mean, okay. Can I make an assumption and say the one who turns out to be a rebel was the girl?
No. Actually,
subverted your expectations.
Oh, so this book might be fine actually. I might give it a okay. So
I honestly, if you find it cheap or like for free or whatever, sure, give it a read. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
okay.
If you're done reading good books, then
you can throw that.
An okay book.
Maybe I can
read Disney books as like a dissection, not necessarily for enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I will be sure to find a copy of it before we read Betrayal, so I can actually think it's a 10 out of 10.
Oh, I did also read Bloodline, also by Claudia Gray, which was supposed to be the big prequel to Force Awakens. Yeah. And I did read the Force Awakens novelization as well. But Bloodline, it was about Leia and a politician who was like a Nazi supporter with the stupidest name ever. and it was supposed to set up the First Order being a thing. I remember barely anything of what actually happened in the story. I just remember the plot twist. Bail Organa made like a voice recording telling Leia, "Hey, your dad, Anakin Skywalker, is Darth Vader. You're his child." And then they play that in the Senate, and everybody, and then Leia gets fired.
They found okay, amazing. So because she's Vader's child, she is essentially fucked
She's
over.
fired, and then it's explained, and I think that she founded the Resistance, and that the Resistance is like, it's supposed to explain why the Resistance is like a separate thing from the New Republic, even though that doesn't make sense still.
Okay, that's
It's almost as bad, like with. I feel more bad for him, but Alan Dean Foster trying to explain Force Awakens in his novelization. You know, when he did like extensive scientific research, how Starkiller Base could work.
I did.
What is that? Is that Mrs. Dougie?
That's my daughter.
Oh, that's mini FFC.
That's mini FFC.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, tell her I said hi.
I will. She'll be like, "Who's that?"
Oh, I did also read those. What were they called? These like YA novels. One about Leia, then Han, and Luke.
You just
Moving Target was
described
one
like
like the
half
Leia one
of
that
the new
explained-
canon books.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
You just described half of the new canon books.
Oh yeah, true. The
It's
Leia one was
like
about how they stole the shuttle Tidirium from Return of the Jedi. And the only thing
Nice.
I remember is they make like a big reference to Leia. They are like undercover on a beach, and the author makes a mention that Leia saw like they tried to get Leia to wear like the slave bikini essentially. And it's supposed to be a reference because Return of the Jedi is going to happen a couple of weeks later.
Amazing. Okay. Why did you read those things?
Because I found them. That was like me starting out with reading Star Wars, was Disney canon stuff. I read the Ryder Wyndham Darth Maul book, I think Plagueis, and the Thrawn trilogy beforehand, but then I read a bunch of Disney canon books, which wasn't the wisest decision. All of them sold now. Thank God.
You were young and naive, Noah.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're older. You know better.
Yes.
You were weak when I found you, and now your hatred has become your strength.
I've never read the Dark Disciple book though.
The
No, I haven't either.
Gyllenhaal one?
Mhm.
I mean,
I've only read ones. I've only read ones that I thought could fit in the EU. So I've never read Dark Disciple, and I've never read the Aftermath trilogy.
Oh, you should read Aftermath.
No,
I mean,
no, stop recommending bad books to me.
Okay.
but
This is how I stop burning out.
But Dougie, how can you be sure it doesn't fit the EU?
True.
I'm pretty sure from reading the descriptions of the books. That,
Aftermath was fascinating because I could see the exact storylines that Chuck Wendig was ripping off from both the Thrawn trilogy and the X-Wing novels.
oh yeah.
Like directly just ripping that stuff off.
I remember that time Stackpole wrote the TIE Fighter Weebles and Wobbles.
Yeah, the writing style is something
Hercules
special.
jerkily zigzagged. Hercules jerkily in the air.
That's not even the
Probably.
worst. There's also like the space diapers. There's the ankle biter brigade. There's so much weird shit in there. All these short stories he did. He compared it to the inspiration for Aftermath being structured the way it is. He cited World War Z as the example of like, we're gonna take a look at this world with like these random
Isn't
little
World War
vignettes.
Z an anthology? World War Z is an anthology, isn't it?
I know, yes, it is.
What
But
now?
but Chuck was like, well, I want to do that, but not
Jason says
exactly
hello.
that. So I'm gonna have
Why?
an actual story and then just throw in random short stories every couple of chapters.
Why did they hear me or something?
Hmm.
Well,
Oh, food.
so to be now, since we are talking about new canon stuff, Dougie, which books would you say I should get besides Catalyst?
You should get the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. So that's three more books, and maybe Tarkin, and maybe the first Thrawn novel, and maybe Lords of the Sith.
Wait, wait. The first.
Oh yeah, I did
let
try
me-
to read that.
Let me.
Lords of the Sith's fine. It's the only problem it has is that it has Ryloth as it appears in the Clone Wars, as in it's not.
I remember giving up on the book. I think
I think
the
it's
villain
fine.
was like a female Imperial who who was like a lesbian with a harem.
Yes, there was a gay character.
Hmm.
I remember that, but it was fine. It has Darth Vader and Palpatine.
I hope
form.
so. They are prominently on the cover.
Yes.
Okay, so wait. Let me take notes. On the first Tron book, you mean just Tron?
Yeah, the one
Yes,
that's just
you can
called
throw in
Thrawn.
Thrawn alliances if you want to suffer.
I
You
might.
want to read the worst Zarn book? Actually, no, that's not even. It's not the worst Zarn book because they're scoundrels.
No, I'm sorry. Thrawn alliances is worse.
I think you get more out of Thrawn alliances because it's entertainingly bad.
What?
It-
140 pages
It's
of Padma
it's so
running
bad.
around?
It's funny.
I don't know.
Okay, but okay. So
There's-
just a moment. What? Now I heard
Scoundrels are just
Noah
boring.
say. I heard Noah say why he thinks it's bad, but why is Tron Alliance so bad for you, Dougie?
It's I mean it's a story basically about nothing.
Yes.
That has it's broken into two parts, and one is Vader and Thrawn, and one is Anakin and Thrawn, and there's a ridiculous gimmick where Vader sees two events at a time. That's called double vision, and it's just completely ridiculous, and it's I don't know.
What? Well,
It's just a nothing book with a nothing adventure.
Literally nothing really happens in it. Padme disappears and she goes to the Disney theme park planet, and then Anakin goes after her and teams up with Thrawn, and they make terrible jokes how Anakin can't pronounce Thrawn's real name.
Oh yeah, it's part of Zarn's makes Anakin out to be, or makes Vader out to be a complete moron of a character, which
Yeah. Also,
is
never
kind of
forget,
present in
this entire
his other
book was
books.
like forced on him. He wanted to write an Thrawn Anakin Clone Wars novel, but the people at Lucasfilm or Del Rey didn't want that. They demanded he writes Vader and Thrawn. So he compromised with two
So he
timelines
wrote
in his
both.
book. And then they also forced him, you have to feature the planet Batuu because that's big in our theme park thing. So that was also forced in there.
So,
you know,
wait.
and then you got Zahn's own bad ideas, like, oh, I want to write about Padme. You know, the worst Star Wars character.
I mean, yeah, she is pretty much. She's not the worst, but not because she isn't bad, but because she's nothing.
She is the mother.
Yes,
Her character is vagina. That's it.
she gave birth to Luke and Leia, and she was a politician or something.
We lived well for like, how long was it? At least like 10 years in the EU without her existing.
Yeah,
Better
I think
times.
the only time I saw her being written was by Lucino, Stover in Labyrinth of Evil and Revenge of the Sith. And I'm not going to lie. Padme in Labyrinth of Evil is also pretty rough. I mean, I know Padme in the Revenge of the Sith novel is funny to read because she's just mother in that novel. No, she's just Anakin's wife, which is amazing.
Based.
Isn't she borderline insane in that book? Because, yeah.
But in Labyrinth of Evil, I remember her being with Bail and Mon Mothma in one of the side plots, and I remember just being like, she really felt like a third wheel between Bail and Mon Mothma, because I actually enjoy those characters, reading about them. And Padme was just there, just making such a miserable time out of it.
You would hate Thrawn Alliances. Padme gets like 100 pages just for her own storyline. And her storyline is just, she travels to this planet, I don't remember why. I think she's looking for like a female friend of hers who's dead. And then the only thing I remember her doing is she's singing a song to the corpse. That she wrote. And that's
the famous prequel to Hollow Star. But so let's go back just a little. So Zan was thinking about writing a book, Thrawn and Anakin, that was his pitch.
That was his pitch. He wanted to write Thrawn and Anakin teaming up during the Clone Wars.
Why?
Because he's dumb. He's an idiot.
I always thought that Thrawn teaming up with Anakin was the part they forced, and not the other way around. Because to me, the idea that Thrawn would team up with Anakin seems so weird enough.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that couldn't happen, I suppose.
It shouldn't happen.
Yes, it shouldn't happen. To be fair, it can happen. It's weird. It's forced, and it's one of those cringe things. Oh, they met as Vader and Thrawn, and they then met as Anakin and Thrawn Naruto or something.
And Anakin learns that Thrawn's people, the Chiss, they call Force-sensitive Chiss Skywalkers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's the thing.
So the Chiss use Force-sensitive children to navigate through hyperspace in the unknown regions, because the unknown regions are difficult to navigate. So they need Force sensitives, people who can see things before they happen, and they call them Skywalkers.
So it's like Dune.
Yeah.
Yes. Except they're children.
Stupid and shitty.
So when they become adults, they lose their Force sensitivity and they stop being navigators. What? But essentially, all the kids.
Oh yeah, and only female Chiss girls before puberty.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's Zan's new Chiss law.
Damn, Zan really lost his mind, didn't he? What?
Yeah.
That seems like some Denning or Perry shit. These young female Chiss, they are the ones who have the Force.
But they lose it with age for some reason.
but they lose their appeal with age. The Force sensitivity, of course. But what the fuck, man? I didn't know that. But
and Thrawn in that book, that's the big twist at the end. They are separate in the Clone Wars storyline in the book. There are separatists on that planet, and Anakin and Thrawn destroy the factory. And then they find the separatists were making lightsaber resistant clone armor.
What?
And then Thrawn is like,
They're going to turn against the Jedi one day.
From this alone, Thrawn predicts, the clones are going to be used against the Jedi and going to march into the Jedi Temple and whatever. You guys are being played.
What the?
Yeah, because
So
Thrawn is the ultra genius. He knows everything. Definitely not a pet character, by the way. And yeah,
I
he
think
just casually predicts Order 66.
to be fair, I think with Tron is worse because Tron very much works like a Zan self-insert. But I think Zan has had problems tying, the movies and other continuity together from day one. I remember reading Survivor's Quest, and then Zan just throwing out Droidicus and whatever. He really feels the need to really tie his
I'll be back in
characters
1
to
minute.
prequel backstory. Like, why do you need to do that, Zan? I don't need a fucking whole damn chapter about Luke and Mara having problems facing Droidicus.
And remember in that book, Mara just casually mentions, back in the day with the Naboo crisis.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can blame
that.
Zahn for mentions like that, at least, because like even Lucino had to do that in Millennium Falcon, I think, where he has Han Solo name drop General Grievous.
To be fair, Han Solo at that point, Han Solo was kind of fucked because Karen Travis had already made him mention Jango Fett.
Oh yeah, that was one of the worst things ever. You haven't even read that part in question, right? That's in Legacy of the Force.
Yeah, I think you shared it once, the page itself, and it just burned into my mind, like the Vergier quote, the Vergier a practical man quote.
Oh yeah, Vergier doesn't even really appear in the story. It's just the quotes by her.
Yeah,
the
random.
Jedi, the Mandalorians are the third side of a two-sided blade with the Jedi and the Sith.
Imagine what the fuck Vergier was smoking when she said that stuff. I can imagine her and Jason smoking some death sticks and discussing that stuff. If you think about it, the third blade is the Mandalorians, Jason. But the thing is, but I think my point is that ever since Survivor's Quest, Zan has shown a tendency not to be able to control himself well with references of that kind, Outbound Flight 2 had, I think, Doriana mentioned to Tron, the outside, the invaders of outside, and, setting up the Yuuzhan Vong.
Yeah.
Which I know there are people who enjoy that reference, but the amount of theories that came up, saying Palpatine was preparing to defend the galaxy from the Vong and that he is a good guy, it's just like, come on, dude. And, just using that, using the Vong as a way to make Tron's, alliance with the Empire make him less evil.
That is my main problem with it. It's Zahn's whitewashing of Thrawn, who is very clearly evil in the original Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't need to be merciless or just flat out comically evil to be an antagonist or to be a hero. I mean, that was part of the appeal of Tron and the appeal of Pelion. They are, not necessarily good people, but they are understandable. They have their motivations and they are part of the Empire. Like, okay, I mean, I can believe that. I can believe Pelion is part of the Empire. He doesn't need to be, a super nice guy who is just, donating to charities and stuff. There is a very good scene in Destiny's Way where Leia goes to visit Pelion to ask for help with to ask to join the Federation or something. I don't remember right now. And Pelion is tending to his garden or something, or he's showing her his garden.
Yeah, his orderly garden.
Yeah, and he makes a pretty clear fascistic analogy to his garden. Which he has a very extremist view of the galaxy, and that is very antagonistic to the main character's beliefs. But still, Pelion is a man of honor and is a man of duty.
And by the end of the book, he also is like, maybe I should have some wild things growing in the garden. Like
he'll
allow a bit of chaos.
Yes, he has the opportunity to grow as a
and that's why
character.
Pelion is the best Star Wars character in all of the books.
Yes, and it seems like Zan worked backwards with Thrawn, where you have him, be a villain at his end point, but everything said right before the Thrawn trilogy makes him out to be some kind of tragic anti-hero, or even just a hero. Like, what the fuck, Zan? And
I mean, he turned him into Sherlock Holmes because people told him, "Oh man, Thrawn is just like Sherlock Holmes."
Why is he like Sherlock Holmes? He's smart and he has a companion with a mustache.
Yeah. Oh man, in fucking Thrawn Treason, I think I said that in the server, but Thrawn in that book, it's not just that he studies artwork now, he defeats the villain of that book by studying an opera that he was conducting.
That is so cringe.
Yes.
I mean,
it's so terrible.
I think Zan should have left the art thing at just the Thrawn trilogy. Because, I mean, hey, it's mysterious and whatever. You don't get to see his thought process.
But when you write the books from his perspective and you absolutely get his thought process, it's like, no.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he says he collects art to study a species. But, I mean, you could at least pretend that he also studies their history, their culture, their warfare tactics. But then you get his point of view, and then he just, magically learns the species' weaknesses and strengths based on art, which is random as shit. But okay, so Doggy just went away.
Let's see if he comes back. I'm gonna guess the connection died.
Maybe.
But yeah, what else? Next point.
But the point is that Zan, the further he got into writing, the worse he got with his references and just making his characters important to the.
Remember in Allegiance when Mara Jade defeats Darth Vader in a lightsaber duel?
Come on.
That was also one of the best retcons. Is Zan establishes the name Skywalker is completely common in the Outer Rim, and we never heard it before or after with any character who's not related to the main Skywalkers. Nice world building, Zan.
I understand that one. I can understand what he's going for. Maybe he's trying to justify, Darth Vader not, catching on or whatever.
Vader did catch on. That's the thing. Like every other source that is like Vader.
You're assuming Zan read other stuff. He didn't.
I know. I mean, he read Stackpole stuff.
Yeah, he probably read Stackpole's books.
He probably read Aaron Alston's books, and we know he read The New Rebellion because he liked it and referenced it positively in Hand of Thrawn.
It's more than Karen Travis read.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so and I think that's a problem, not just with I think that's maybe one of the things the new canon does a little bit better than the EU is the merging, the merging of the prequel era and the OT era, where it feels a little more natural since all the movies have released by now. Because
Mhm.
you got some stuff like Sam and Survivor's Class, which feels a bit forced.
Tatooine
know,
Ghost.
Yeah, Tatooine Ghost, and like we mentioned, Han Solo mentioning Grievous and Django, like it's no big deal. It feels weird. It feels very off. I think one of the worst examples is one that happens in Dark Nest with Mara, Jason, and Luke watching Revenge of the Sith on R2. I don't know what's worse, the scenes themselves, which to me were completely just garbage. So it was basically Anakin doing something it was basically Danny narrating what happened in the movie, and maybe Mara or maybe Luke being shocked, and Jason just saying, "God damn, my grandpa is based."
This is, by the way, this is all gonna be so much worse in the rest of the Denningverse. I just want to point this out with like references to the prequels, because one of my main topics, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, that's something I really want to discuss when Dan, Pico, and Jim and I get to the Denningverse, which is the complete aesthetic change from
Yes.
the New Jedi Order era. I mean, we had X-wings, we had A-wings, we had the typical original trilogy Star Wars stuff that got updated. We got the JX X-wing, you got the E-wings, we got the K-wings, you got new stuff. And then the New Republic and the Federation never stopped developing new starfighters. And then, for some reason, someone out there decided, while I think it was Austin, goddamn Austin, he decided for some reason to make a new Jedi starfighter, like the one on Revenge of the Sith, for Luke's new Jedi Order. And it's a minor example, something that happened.
You want bigger examples? The Jedi Temple from the prequels was completely rebuilt, and it looks the same. They make a point to mention the fucking council chamber,
Yes.
like the one we see in the prequels. It's exactly rebuilt.
Amazing.
Every piece of the floor, the chairs, it looks exactly the same. They even one of the Padawans mentions the statues that used to stand near the stairs, the entrance to the temple, which we see in Revenge of the Sith. Which makes no fucking sense, because nobody alive would have seen those, especially not a human Padawan who's like 15.
No, and not just that,
Treated like Luke's Jedi Order has always been in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and it looks the same. And Luke also reestablishes the fucking age restrictions, like you have to be brought in as a baby, like you can be too old to be given training.
Isn't the old Jedi Temple built right next to a new Jedi Temple?
That's the confusing thing that I want you guys to keep an eye out, like Dan, Pico, and you, when you read the Denningverse, because I'm pretty sure they fucked up, and there are 2 Jedi temples now on Coruscant, but they are not aware of that. I think that's a legit continuity fuck up. Because in Dark Nest, they are in a Jedi temple on Coruscant, which they say was built as a thanks or something by the government. But then Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi make it clear they are now stationed in the big Jedi temple, which was rebuilt. So it's the old temple from the prequels.
Okay, so I'll be sure to look out for it. Maybe I will skim through Dark Nest just to save the temple passages, so we can compare it to when we get to Legacy of the Force.
Yeah.
So and it's not just that, the starfighters, the Jedi Temple,
The robes.
the robes, exactly. The robes, the overall idea, the Federation going
Even the
back to
lightsaber colors.
looking like, yes.
Remember in Darkness when the best Star Wars character, Sabba 17, throws away Leia's lightsaber, the red one, that Luke built, that she used throughout all of New Jedi Order, and she threw it away, and then Leia had to build a new lightsaber on her own, and it was boring blue.
And it's because heroes use green and blue, and villains use red.
And Mace Windu gets purple because he's Sam Jackson.
Of course, then you can have anything you want. But yeah, it's just so jarring, because you have all the prequel era content, the Benton books, the RPG source books, the comics, and you have a completely different aesthetic to the New Republic era, which was something I quite enjoyed. The new ships, how Luke's Jedi Order was very down to earth compared to the Jedi Order from the prequels. The Jedi of the prequels they seem like a cult in the sense that they all use the same clothes, they all lived in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and they they lived in their ivory tower and whatever. While Jedi, you had Luke himself, you had Kyle, who was running around doing shit, you had Curran, who was also an X-Wing pilot, and so on and so forth. So, it was a very diverse bunch of characters. It was a way to show how the new Jedi Order, how being a Jedi didn't have to be your whole personality.
I just want to quickly answer this. You are thinking about this way harder than any of the authors who made this shit up. That whole Throne of Balance nonsense was set up by Troy Denning so he can have Alana Solo as the real chosen one, because he already established in Apocalypse Anakin Skywalker was not the chosen one. He was an utter failure. It's actually Alana who's going to bring balance to the Force by defeating Darth Krayt, because Denning also wanted to contradict the Legacy comics because he hated them.
I can understand not liking the Legacy comics. I mean, sure.
Yes, again, what I just said is the answer here.
And hey, if you don't like something new, that's more than fair, But for instance, Lucino, as we can assume from what Chesney said, didn't like Legacy of the Force, and used to play nice with the others. So, at that point, Denning is just being petty. But, just going back, so you had a whole aesthetic. You had the prequel trilogy with a certain aesthetic. You had the original trilogy with its more rugged and dirty aesthetic. And then you had the New Republic era, the New Republic, New Jedi Order era, which also had its own aesthetic, which is something I really enjoyed about reading those books. Just imagining a Star Wars world that was slightly different than the one we watched in the movies. But with the release of the prequels, everything seemed to try and be like either the prequels or the OT, which is something that really bothered me with the release of Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi. How everything tried to be like the prequels again, both story-wise and aesthetic-wise.
Dash Reads has just summarized exactly what I feel about the expanded universe.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was saying that in chat. He says Denning is the main reason I'm not too let down about not getting more books. It would have been more weird Denning stuff. Yes, it would have been.
Never forget his.
Yes,
exactly. Didn't he say he would have happily written Star Wars books to the end of time? Like, it wouldn't have been like Kevin J. Anderson, where we got rescued by June. we would have just got Denning in perpetuity.
No, yeah, I made my peace with, not reading, with the EU ending a long time ago when I read the Unifying Force, and I was like, hey, this is actually a very good ending, So, and I don't like the ideas and concepts behind the Dennyverse, so I don't even care if they give an ending to it. So yeah, I mean, it's more than
Have
fair.
you read the Legacy comics though? Because those are worth it.
The Legacy comics. I have here. I think, the first 3 volumes of 5 that collects all of it. So I still need to get the last 2, and then I can properly read them all.
Okay.
Janus Sword of the Jedi arc could have been an interesting thing, but see, that's the issue. I think Janus Sword of the Jedi shit was probably the biggest mistake Walter John Williams made in Destiny's Way, because it led people to assume shit about.
Oh great, everybody's muted. Oh well.
My wife and my daughter were shouting at each other. That's why.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
You're not
Yeah.
like each other.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Now it sounds like you're a long, long way away, Jason.
Is he talking right now?
He's trying to. I think he took his headphones out.
Okay. I'm getting tired. Is there anything else to say?
No, I'm good to bounce if you're happy.
Maybe we should wait for Jason to return and just leaving me a cold. Okay, there he is.
Okay, so I'm hearing you guys on the live, but I can't hear you guys on the notebook.
Oh. Huh. Weird.
Yeah,
wait,
I can't visualize what he writes either. It's. I feel a bit like I'm reading Denning when I'm reading Denning that I've got a concussion and I can't quite focus.
As a non-English speaker, you can guess what I think of Dennis prose. Because he's legit the only guy who I read, who I was reading Star by Star, and I had no idea most of it happened with the strike team. I didn't know if they were on the fleet ship, on Merkur, or somewhere else. It was just so confusing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But okay, so if you guys want to end it, sure, we can do this another time.
Oh yeah, sure. But good discussion.
Good
Star
chat.
Wars garbage.
As always.
We should have more Star Wars discussions on Noah's channel.
Yes.
It's not gonna become a common thing. Don't get used to it.
Next time there's drama in the movement, we can talk about it.
Easy. We are lucky here to not have him translated to Portuguese. Oh shit, we have. Oh yeah, Crucible was a thing. Okay, so I think that was it. So thank you guys for having me. As always, it was a lovely chat with you, Noah, and with you, Dougie.
Yes, thanks, guys.
All right. See you, everybody. Goodbye.
See you guys.